Surviving in the wild, I have tenfold rewards. Ding! Welcome to the wilderness world. A reminder woke Chen Nuo from his coma. Wait, wasn't I on the plane? Plane? Chen Nuo suddenly remembered. The plane he was on encountered strong air currents and crashed. Thinking of the dangerous and chaotic scene before he fell into a coma, Chen Nuo was very grateful that he survived. Huh? What's wrong with my body? He stretched his muscles and found that his body was intact. There was not even a slight pain, which was not at all like what he should have experienced in a plane crash. With strong doubts, he looked around. Blue sky, white clouds, and boundless sea. The waves splashed on the beach, taking away the wreckage of the plane and some things, and bringing some new wreckage of the plane and things, over and over again. Chen Nuo's face suddenly became strange. Because his sight seemed to have a lock-on scanning function, when he focused on something, a transparent panel would appear in front of him with a brief introduction. Plane wreckage, mineral water bottle, dirty old clothes, sea sand, reef. The panel in front of me, the locked special effects, the text introduction that appeared, etc., are like a game. The electronic prompt sound in my ear has never stopped. Congratulations, you have landed safely on this island. Please choose an open space to build a temporary shelter. Build a shelter. Chen Nuo looked around. Even if there is no system prompt, he needs to find a cool and safe place to stay as soon as possible. An edible food and water. Exposing to the scorching sun for a long time will increase the loss of body water. On a deserted island, fresh water is more precious than food. Chen Nuo propped himself up and walked towards the shallow forest behind him. He was afraid of encountering wild animals, so he didn't dare to go too deep. Instead, he looked for a suitable place to stay along the edge of the jungle, and checked the surrounding plants, terrain, and whether there were signs of wild animals. The most important thing is to find fresh water. It may be a psychological effect. Chen Nuo felt thirstier and missed the taste of mineral water. After walking for a few minutes, he finally found the source of water. It was a stream flowing down the hillside, which flowed into countless streams along the beach and into the sea. Chen Nuo rushed over and squatted by the stream to taste a drop tentatively. It's fresh water. Har, I'm saved. Chen Nuo seemed to see the hope of survival, so he took a few big gulps of the stream water and filled his stomach. Then he washed his face and continued to collect useful supplies along the beach. An hour later, Chen Nuo had a vine hanging around his neck, and the vine was tied with some plastic water bottles, airplane wreckage, worn-out clothes, and some miscellaneous things. In this situation, any modern supplies could be of great use. So he didn't even let go of 2 women's bras, and hung them all on his body and brought them back. While doing this, Chen Nuo had gradually accepted the reality. Here, it was an uninhabited island. If he couldn't wait for the rescue team, he would have little hope of surviving, let alone returning to the civilized world. The only thing he could rely on now was himself. And that thing that looked like an online game system. After a short rest, Chen Nuo decided to act according to the prompts. He cleaned all the water bottles on his body, filled them all with fresh water, and leaned on a stick to explore the stream above. This hillside was not high, and the middle and upper parts were bare stone walls. Chen Nuo pondered for a moment and chose to build a residence against the stone wall, so that at least one side was solid. Besides, it was close to the water source and the terrain was higher, which was convenient for him to get water and prevent wild animals. Shelter selection completed. Get thatched house 1. In front of him, the outline of a thatched house appeared out of thin air. The thatched house moved with Chen Nuo's sight. It was not until Chen Nuo placed it in a corner without obstacles that it solidified into a real thatched house. Wow! Creating something out of nothing. This is too unscientific. Chen Nuo was stunned. If he built it himself, I don't know how long it would take. And the system actually gave him one directly. In shock, Chen Nuo conducted a scientific inspection of the thatched house. The thatched house is about 5 or 6 square meters, very solid, and can shelter from wind and rain. But it's hard to say if there is a strong wind and rain. However, the building can be upgraded. Thatched house. Level 1. Quality, white. Defense, 10. Durability, 100. Introduction, a most rudimentary shelter. Upgrade conditions, wood 20, rattan 30. Chen Nuo quickly glanced at the information of the thatched house and closed it. Deep in his heart, he had great hope for the rescue team. Then this so-called shelter is just a temporary residence. What surprised him was that there was a flat wooden bed in the thatched house. After working for more than 3 hours, his physical fitness as a homebody could no longer bear it, so he immediately lay down on the wooden bed to rest. Suddenly, Chen Nuo heard a soft electronic sound again. You have moved into your new home, and the wilderness survival has officially begun. Loading basic functions for you. Chen Nuo's eyes flashed, and a transparent panel with comprehensive functions appeared. Personal attributes, personal warehouse, task directory, function settings, regional channel, live show, trading square, ranking list, supply mall. It's like a game. So, I won't really die. Chen Nuo thought to himself to comfort himself. He immediately clicked on the live show to see the survival experience of other survivors and learn from them. In the live broadcast, a shirtless muscular man, holding a knife in his hand, picked at a crab and confidently popularized science. I believe everyone has found freshwater resources. Now I will teach you how to identify seafood animals. The barrage was very lively. Master Fan, I caught this kind of crab. Can it be eaten raw? Master Fan, can you send me your coordinates? I'm so scared alone, woo woo woo. Let's ask for the coordinates together. We are all survivors of the plane crash and should stick together. Master Fan, run. Run. Fuck. What the hell is that? Danger. Run. A huge head slowly floated up on the sea. It was as big as a car. It was hard to tell whether it was a shark or a whale. The huge mouth was filled with 2 rows of sharp fangs. Mr. Fan didn't notice the danger behind him at all. He was still confidently showing off his muscles and said with a smile, "Don't be nervous, the beach is very safe. Look, there is a mantis eel. But I would like to advise the ladies not to try to catch the mantis eel to play with." "Oh woo." Their voice stopped abruptly. A huge shadow fell, and the bloody mouth swallowed Mr. Fan directly. Only half of the sharp blade was left in the field. The live broadcast screen became blurred, and a line of Chinese jumped out in the center. The anchor died, the live broadcast ended. Chen Nuo was so scared that his anus tightened. He quickly turned off the live broadcast, panting heavily, his face full of horror. Dead, dead. The anchor will die, really die. He wanted to scream to vent his panic, but he knew that he couldn't do that, absolutely not. This damn wilderness survival world is full of traps and unknown beasts. Chen Nuo felt a little nervous when he thought about how he had been strolling on the beach for more than an hour. He finally understood why all the clothes he had collected were torn and bloody. Chapter 2, Crafting Weapons. As Chen Nuo was on edge, a few system announcements appeared above the panel in front of him. System Announcement Region, Survival Leaderboard, Rank 7, Li Fan has died. System Announcement Region, Hunting Leaderboard, Rank 8, Li Fan has died. System Announcement Region, Crafting Leaderboard, Rank 10, Li Fan has died. System Announcement Region, Popularity Leaderboard, Rank 3, Li Fan has died. There are 6 leaderboards: Survival, Hunting, Crafting, Popularity, Bounty, and Exploration. Whenever a survivor in the top 10 of any leaderboard dies, the system issues an announcement. Li Fan, a top-tier expert on all 6 leaderboards, has fallen. Yet, in the face of an unknown and ferocious sea monster, he was powerless. Chen Nuo sucked in a deep breath, trying to calm himself. He reassured himself, well, Li Fan was just rank 7 on the survival leaderboard, which means there are others who have lasted longer. No matter what, he had to keep his morale up. If he gave in to fear, he would surely die. After calming down, Chen Nuo opened the region chat. Total participants in chat, 5,145 people. Everyone was discussing the announcement. What? Even Li Fan is dead. I saw it with my own eyes in his live stream. HMPH, that idiot deserved to die. I told him starting a live stream would eventually bring in a deadly character. He didn't listen. I'm going crazy. I want to go home. Who else going to save me? Sob sob sob. Anyone selling wood? I'll trade for an iPhone 12. I need vines, anyone have them? I'll trade a laptop. Newbies, you've got the wrong channel. This is where we share survival tips. Go to the trade channel. Do you know who I am? You dare talk to me like that? Get lost. This is a game, it's a desert island. I don't care who you are. If you piss me off, I'll kill you like a dog. Don't talk to me about the lore, right now I just want to fill my stomach. Everyone, calm down. The priority now is to unite and survive together, waiting for the rescue team. From the chat logs, it was clear that many were losing their composure. The harsh environment had already taken its toll, and many were starting to abandon laws and morals, resorting to extreme behavior. In simple terms, they were becoming more beast-like. Chen Nuo dismissed the idea of relying on others for help. Help? Who knew what others were thinking? The jungle law is survival of the fittest. Trusting others blindly could get you killed without even knowing it. Only I can help myself if I want to survive. With this thought, Chen Nuo no longer had the mind to rest. He carefully got up, keeping an eye on his surroundings. When he was sure there were no wild animals nearby, he picked up a few stones and some dry, flammable sticks. He secured the stones and began scraping a piece of plain wreckage. Crafting weapons not only served as protection, but it was also useful for making other essential tools. Soon, he had sharpened a small corner of the plain wreckage, ready to use it to carve a dry stick into a fire drill. But just as he tied the wreckage to a thicker stick, the system suddenly chimed. Congratulations! Survival duration has reached 6 hours. You have received a new player reward. Choose one of 3 options. 1. Lighter common. 2. Stone axe common. 3. Thick cotton blanket common. Without hesitation, Chen Nuo chose the lighter. If he had more time, he would have chosen the thick cotton blanket. This island had a subtropical climate, with unpredictable weather and significant temperature differences between day and night. A cold could easily turn deadly here. But night was approaching, and since he wasn't confident in using the fire drill, he opted for the lighter as a temporary measure. With fire, he could drive away wild beasts and stay warm. Triggering tenfold reward. You have received 10 lighters. Huh? Tenfold reward? Chen Nuo was momentarily surprised. He thought it was some additional benefit for beginners in games and didn't think much of it. He then pulled out 1 lighter from his personal inventory. He stepped outside the thatched hut and dug a shallow pit. Starting a fire, he arranged the kindling, and a bonfire slowly began to burn. After completing these tasks, Chen Nuo was drenched in sweat. But he couldn't stop. He needed to sharpen a proper weapon, and keeping busy helped distract him from the panic in his heart. He didn't even dare to take off his sweat-soaked shirt, fearing the mosquitoes. He sat by the bonfire, working on his weapon. After some time, he finally completed his axe. Congratulations! You have crafted a green tier weapon. You can use the universal workbench to upgrade or recycle this weapon. Universal workbench. Chen Nuo suddenly remembered something and turned to enter the thatched hut. In the corner, there was a half-human high-round workbench. Universal workbench. Since the workbench was located by the head of his bed, Chen Nuo hadn't noticed it before. He walked over, and 3 options appeared on the workbench. Craft, transform waste into treasure. Upgrade, improve the quality and level of materials. Recycle, convert materials into survival coins. Damn, how careless. Chen Nuo slapped his forehead, cursing himself for being so stupid. He could have used the workbench to automatically craft weapons, but instead, he had been manually polishing them. Realizing this, he followed the instructions and placed the crafted axe on the workbench. After activation, the weapon's attributes could be viewed, and there was a small chance of improving its stats. Battle axe nameable. Level 2. Quality green. Attack 12. Durability 600. Description: a battle axe made from aluminum alloy, lightweight and sharp. Upgrade requirements: aluminum alloy 30, wood 5. Chen Nuo felt a bit disappointed when he saw that his 2-hour effort had only produced a green tier weapon. However, he didn't know that the region's chat was going wild because of it. Who is Chen Nuo? Is Chen Nuo here? At Chen Nuo, want to team up? I'm a girl. Holy crap. This is the first green tier weapon on our island. Damn. My level for white tier axe just became number 2 on the crafting leaderboard. At Chen Nuo, can you share the weapon's attributes, big boss? At Chen Nuo, big boss, are you selling it? I'll trade for an iPhone 12. At Chen Nuo, can we add each other and chat privately? I'm scared. Chen Nuo had no idea that the axe he painstakingly crafted by hand was the highest tier weapon in the region, and its attributes were even better than that of a level 4 white tier weapon. Just having a weapon isn't enough. Chen Nuo hesitated briefly, then named his battle axe Fearless. He was well aware that he wasn't naturally brave. Thus, he hoped that every time he saw the name, he would remind himself to be fearless. Surviving on the island, courage was more important than any material quality. Let us see what else I can craft. Chen Nuo placed all the aluminum alloy he had collected onto the workbench. Aluminum alloy 32. After a brief hesitation, he didn't choose to use the materials to upgrade the Fearless battle axe. Instead, he consumed 12 pieces of aluminum alloy and chose, craft, selecting, short sword, from the options. Craft success rate, 85%. Let us gamble a little. Chen Nuo clicked confirm. The workbench emitted a brief flash of white light. Crafting successful. Congratulations. You have acquired a new item, White Feather Short Sword. When the white light faded, a sleek, silver-white short sword appeared before him. Chapter 3, Fully Equipped. White Feather Short Sword. Level, 4. Quality, White. Attack, 8. Durability, 300-300. Description, a light and sharp short sword, resembling white feathers. Upgrade requirements, aluminum alloy 20. Not bad, Chen Nuo smiled in satisfaction. Although it was just a white-grade weapon, it didn't take much effort to craft. Its attack power was 8, just 4 points lower than his Fearless battle axe. Don't forget, axe-type weapons generally have higher attack power than swords. Overall, Chen Nuo preferred the white feather short sword. It was more agile and consumed less stamina. Next, Chen Nuo placed the remaining pieces of aluminum alloy on the crafting table. He selected to craft defensive gear, armor. Crafting success rate, 56%. Only 56%. He frowned and added an old piece of clothing. The success rate increased to 67%. Let us try one more. Chen Nuo added another, and the success rate went up to 75%. Clothing? One functional piece should be enough. He added 2 more tattered pieces and even tossed in a bra. The success rate reached 93%. However, Chen Nuo, remembering his earlier success, feared the system might secretly reduce his luck. So, he cautiously added a few unnecessary items to raise the success rate to 100%. Once it showed 100%, he confirmed the crafting. The crafting table gleamed with a burst of colorful light. Crafting successful. Congratulations, you've received light armor. Light armor. Level 6. Quality, white. Defense, 18. Durability, 500-500. Description, very light yet offers outstanding defense. Upgrade requirements, cannot be upgraded. This. Chen Nuo felt awkward. Perhaps the materials were too mixed, resulting in the light armor being at its peak upon creation, unable to be upgraded. Its attributes were pretty good, with a defense higher than that of the grass hut he was staying in. However, the armor's design could only be described as bizarre. It looked like a white armor skirt, resembling a bra worn outside, but it covered most of the body. The most absurd part was the 2 bulging plastic bottle-like pockets on either side of the waist. Anyone wearing it would certainly be considered mentally unstable. The mere act of wearing it required significant courage. Never mind, survival is the priority. Chen Nuo hastily put on the new gear. The light armor was incredibly light, with no metallic feel. Wearing it felt like putting on a down jacket. For armor with such great defense, its lightness was already impressive. Chen Nuo then used the shoelaces he'd collected to tie around his right calf, securing the white feather short sword. He grabbed his Fearless battle axe and looked quite imposing. Tonight, he decided to sleep fully equipped. Although it wasn't very comfortable, it gave him some peace of mind. After finishing, Chen Nuo opened the regional chat. He was surprised to see many survivors at him, asking about his equipment or flattering him to join their teams. The chat continued with discussions about his gear. Big boss. This Chen Nuo is definitely a true big boss. Impressive. He crafted 3 high-level pieces of equipment in a row and took the top spot on the crafting leaderboard. Light armor sounds really high-end. Obviously. Level 6 gear, its defense is at least over 10 points. Wait, does this mean no one can break his defense? He could just stroll around the island like a king. I really want to know how he made that green-grade battle axe. At Chen Nuo, big brother, can you reply to us? Damn it. The person above, stop spamming voice messages all night. What are you, a wildcat? Seeing everyone talking about him, Chen Nuo felt a sense of accomplishment. Seems like my start isn't too bad. He exhaled softly and closed the chat window, ignoring the dozens of friend requests. At the moment, he just wanted to focus on steady development. Before he had enough strength, relying on companions might not be wise. If he encountered anyone with bad intentions, there would be no place to cry. He then began catching up on the system information. He had missed a lot of system tips early on. He even only started reviewing his personal attributes now. Survivor, Chen Nuo. Health, 300-300. Physical and mental states lower health. Combat will cause rapid loss of health. Health at 0 means death. Mental state, 150-300. When mental state is low, health will decline. Labor, exploration, and similar actions consume mental state. Resting or consuming stress-relieving food restores it. Hunger, 120-300. Low hunger will cause health loss. Eating quickly restores hunger. Special talent, Tenfold rewards. There is a chance to receive 10 times the rewards for materials acquired through killing monsters, completing tasks, exploration, etc. Tenfold rewards. That's why I got 10 lighters just now. At this moment, Chen Nuo didn't know that he was the only person in the entire wilderness with the special talent. Next, Chen Nuo checked the map and weather. The map only showed the areas he had explored. Unexplored areas were covered in a grey mist, inaccessible. The weather forecast indicated that tonight there would be heavy rain, with a minimum temperature of 2°C. Chen Nuo was speechless. With heavy rain, the bonfire outside his hut was pointless. If only I had checked the system earlier. Chen Nuo continued to explore. Personal warehouse, store items, take them with you or leave them. Task log, tracks tasks in detail. Function settings, allows customization of frequently used functions. There were many settings available, but Chen Nuo hesitated and decided to wait until he was more familiar with the system. Trading Square, a place where survivors can trade online. Goods store, it only sold common supermarket items, but the prices were extremely high. 200 survival coins for a bottle of Nongfu spring water. The exchange rate for survival coins to RMB was about 100:1. Currently, most survivor transactions were barter-based. Wooden vines were in high demand and short supply. Looks like everyone wants to upgrade their shelters for safety. That means my special talent is a gold mine. Chen Nuo's eyes lit up. A plan for rapid development began forming in his mind. However, he didn't act immediately. Despite his strong start, which could be described as beginner's luck, with equipment far superior to everyone else's, he wasn't reckless. To put it nicely, he was steady. To put it bluntly, cautious. Before implementing his plan, Chen Nuo preferred to have a backup. Everyone wants to upgrade their shelters for a reason, he thought, placing one of his lighters into the trading bar, priced at wood 20. He was testing the market value of the lighter. Based on his estimation, he was willing to trade 9 lighters for materials enough to upgrade the shelter. To his surprise, within 3 seconds of posting, the lighter was traded. Damn, lighters are in that much demand. Just as he was pleasantly surprised, the regional chat kept flashing red with unread messages, people at him, all asking to buy lighters. Chapter 4, Sky High Price Lighter. At Chen Nuo, sir, do you have any lighters left? I'm willing to exchange them for the same amount of wood. At Chen Nuo, brother. I'll give you 30 pieces of wood. At Chen Nuo, 40 wood. Trade now. At Chen Nuo, big brother, do you want vines? 30 vines will help you upgrade your shelter. At Chen Nuo, yes, I have a lot of rattan sticks, can I give them all to you? I only ask for a lighter, I am almost freezing to death, please give it to me, saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. At Chen Nuo, brother Chen Nuo, I've never begged anyone before, can you please do it this time? I'm still a girl, and I don't want to die like this. As long as you save me, I'll agree to anything you ask for. At Mar Jin Lian, go to hell. Do you understand the rules? Let's compete fairly, don't try to seduce me. Chen Nuo's heart was beating wildly. As a otaku, Chen Nuo actually really likes women. As for aesthetic standards, his standards are actually very low. As long as the girl is not too ugly or deformed, he is okay with it. And a small lighter can exchange for a woman. This is such a great thing, I'm afraid no normal man would refuse it, right? What, illegal? Shit. This is a deserted island. My life is in danger at any time, and you still won't let me break the law? Is there any justice in the world? Between justice of heaven and law, of course justice of heaven is greater. To be honest, Chen Nuo was very excited and thrilled. But he immediately suppressed the evil thoughts in his heart. The reason is simple. First, in the current environment, there are far more women like this than just Mar Jinlian. Many girls have made hints before, but none of them were as explicit as Mar Jinlian. Second, he knew that what the girls really wanted was not material things, but a strong and reliable partner who could lead them to survive. Third, he is afraid of getting sick. All in all, Chen Nuo is the last survivor to arrive. I don't know when the first batch arrived, but the woman currently ranked first on the survival list has survived for 15 days and 8 hours. It must be admitted that men have more advantages than women in this kind of self-reliant wilderness survival operation. It can also be seen from the chat channel that many girls' admiration for the strong can be described as being ready to devote themselves at any time. To sum up, please think about it carefully. Chen Nuo is by no means a saint, but he is also afraid of dirt. It would be troublesome if he got infected with some disease. Of course, Chen Nuo didn't think that all girls were using their bodies to survive, he just didn't want to take the risk of detecting minds himself. There are thousands of women in the world, but there is only one second brother. There's a knife hanging over your head. Stay still. He warned himself secretly, then pinched his thigh hard to completely kill the evil thoughts in his mind. Then, among the hundreds of survivors who were looking to buy lighters, he selected a girl with a more pleasing name and a more generous offer. At Louis, 20 pieces of wood, 30 pieces of rattan, and the lighter will be sold to you. At Chen Nuo, thanks brother. At Louis, stay calm and don't act recklessly. At Chen Nuo, received. The brief chat between the two people, those who understand will understand tilde. Immediately, many survivors jumped out to please and compete. Boss Chen Nuo, I also play King of Glory. Brother Chen Nuo, I have for national soft support heroes. As long as you help me, I will be your little follower in the future and help you to become the king. Boss Chen Nuo, I'm not going to pretend anymore. I'm Zhang Daxian. Boss, give me a hand. Once we leave this damn place, I'll take you flying. Chen Nuo Xin and the others are damn good. Add Louis as a friend, complete the transaction, and get the materials. He left the remaining lighters in the warehouse. This thing will always be a scarce commodity as long as it remains in the wilderness. He plans to keep it and sell it later when the price will be better. Then, Chen Nuo came outside the thatched hut. My eyes locked onto the thatched hut, and two options appeared before me. Upgrade, consumes 20 pieces of wood and 30 pieces of vines. Dismantling, obtains straw 20, vine 5. Chen Nuo decisively chose to upgrade. Consumes 30 pieces of wood and 30 pieces of rattan. Upgrade successful. A brief burst of pale light enveloped the thatched hut. As the light faded, the thatched hut took on a new look, its roof transformed into seamless wooden planks. The whole becomes more solid and no longer so primitive. Thatched house. Level 2. Quality, white. Defense, 50. Durability, 300. Description, this shelter can effectively protect against storms. Upgrade conditions, wood 50, rattan 80, animal tooth nails 30. Chen Nuo suddenly realized. No wonder everyone is eager to upgrade the shelter. It turns out that they were tortured by the storm on the deserted island at night. The level 2 thatched house is no longer afraid of storms. He couldn't wait to move into his new home. Sure enough, it was warmer than before and seemed to be slightly larger in area. I can sleep well tonight. He smiled with satisfaction, preparing to end the first day of wilderness survival. But at this time, a prompt appears at the top of the panel. Your shelter has attracted the attention of mutant rabbits, please be careful. Fuck, you're not going to stop, are you? Chen Nuo was a little annoyed. It is very rare for him, a stay-at-home guy with a bit of procrastination, to be so diligent today. But this damn system has been creating a sense of crisis for him, making him very depressed. This is really annoying. It makes him think of his online crush who is so clingy all day long and so insecure. Chen Nuo went on this trip just to meet her in person. Who would have thought that he would be so unlucky as to encounter a plane crash, be stranded on a desert island, and be forced to participate in this damn wilderness survival game? If all these accidents hadn't happened, he should be severely punishing his online girlfriend now. What's the result? Now, I finally got a good night's sleep, but was targeted by a group of so-called mutant rabbits. Fuck. That's enough for him. Chen Nuo is famous. This tip was like the last straw, completely crushing Chen Nuo's positive and optimistic attitude. He clicked on the prompt angrily, and the details popped up. It turns out that upgrading the shelter will lead to attacks from nearby wild beasts. The time of the wild beast's attack is not fixed. Survivors have 3 options. 1. Take the initiative to weaken the power of the beast tribe in advance. 2. Defend with all your strength. As long as you can survive this wave of beast attacks, you will be safe for the time being. 3. Move in time, choose to demolish the building, take the supplies and leave in disgrace, and find a new home. But the survivors will still encounter this trouble when they rebuild their homes again. This is unavoidable. However, after the survivors have gained experience, they can first understand the environment around their new home before moving and then make a choice. Places with low beast levels, few resources, and relatively safe. The higher the level of wild monsters, the more resources there are, but the danger factor also increases. In short, there is no option that has the best of both worlds, it all depends on the survivor's personal choice. Chen Nuo has bad luck. The place he chose was rich in resources, close to a source of running water, and surrounded by various groups of powerful wild beasts. If you are not careful, you will lose your life. A mutant hare, right? Wait. Chen Nuo angrily checked the information of Fire-tail rabbit. Mutant rabbit. Level 3. Attack 7. Defense 2. Introduction: these irritable little guys usually act in groups, so it's best not to provoke them easily. Below are some lifelike illustrations of mutant rabbits. This kind of rabbit has green fur and a short tail that looks like a flame or a green ghost fire, which looks particularly creepy. Chen Nuo snorted coldly and closed the message. Instead of sitting and waiting for death, it is better to take the initiative. HMPH, you mutant rabbits, huh? I'll use you to sharpen my sword and axe. Chapter 5: Mutated Iron-Toothed Rat. It was completely dark. The air was hot and humid, with dark clouds overhead and occasional lightning and thunder, foreshadowing the approaching storm. Chen Nuo decided to take this opportunity to go out and complete some tasks. Yes, there were several novice tasks piled up in the task catalog, but he hadn't done any of them. There are 2 types of tasks: basic tasks and exploration tasks. Basic mission is carried out 1 level at a time, and currently all survivors are at the 1st level. Exploration mission: the system will randomly release corresponding tasks based on the current survival situation. During the exploration process, the survivors have a high probability of encountering high-level ferocious beasts, and also a high probability of finding a mysterious treasure chest. The mysterious treasure chest may contain precious treasures, or it may be a huge danger. In general, exploration missions are both dangerous and rewarding, with high risks and high rewards. They are very exciting and a test of one's character. Basic tasks. Level 1, First Arrival in the Wilderness. 1. The exploration time reaches 30 minutes. Rewards: Wood 10, Vines 10. 2. Hunt any mutant beast. Reward: Beast Tooth Nails 10. 3. Obtain any kind of food. Reward: Dry bread 10. 4. Obtain any item from the hunted. Reward: Sharp dagger 1. 5. Unlocked when the shelter reaches level 3. Exploration mission. 1. Collect a bronze treasure chest. Reward: 100% chance of getting a valuable item. After checking the 5 tasks, Chen Nuo opened the map. According to the map, the mutant rabbits are gathered in the east. I've explored the south, it's relatively safe. Well, then head southeast. With that in mind, Chen Nuo got fully armed and set out on a formal journey to explore the wilderness. However, he overlooked one problem. The wilderness at night is completely different from that during the day, and the danger level increases exponentially. Creekside. Chen Nuo was collecting water and had no idea that in the dense forest behind him, densely packed small eyes were lighting up, just like the stars in the night sky, but revealing the most primitive desire and cruelty. Kai. Suddenly, a little guy couldn't help but pounce on Chen Nuo. Chen Nuo heard the strange cry above his head and raised his axe to block it purely subconsciously. As a result, the sharp axe blade seemed to cut something, and a few drops of warm mucus splashed on his face. Kill mutated iron-toothed rat 1. Killed a mutant iron-toothed rat. Chen Nuo was slightly stunned, and before he could react, he noticed a dense array of silver eyes above his head and behind him. He was so scared that his scalp tightened and he even had claustrophobia. Chirp. Chirp, chirp. Hundreds and thousands of mutated iron-toothed rats rushed over madly at an incredible speed. Chen Nuo had no time to escape, so he could only grit his teeth and fight to the death. He held the battle axe tightly in his hand and swung it vigorously, making a whooshing sound. He could even clearly sense the strange feeling of each mutated iron-toothed rat struggling to hit his light armor. Fuck. Come on. Come on. I'm not afraid of you. He grabbed the torch and the axe and swung them wildly at the same time, roaring loudly to give himself courage. Brain, totally confused. All I know is to keep waving, to save my life. It would be a lie to say that he was not afraid, but with no way out, Chen Nuo definitely had the courage to fight to the death. There are reminders popping up in my ears. Kill mutated iron-toothed rat 1. Kill mutated iron-toothed rat 1. Kill 1 mutant iron-toothed rat, get 2 animal tooth nails. Trigger 10 times the reward, get animal tooth nails 20. Kill mutated iron-toothed rat 1. After a while, the dense swarms of mutated iron-toothed rats retreated like a tide. Because their companions who came one after another told them at the cost of their lives that the human being in front of them was definitely not someone they could afford to offend. The mutant iron-toothed rat is only level 1, with an attack power of less than 2 points, and its attack method is so monotonous that it can only use its teeth to bite. At this time, the role of Chen Nuo's armor skirt was perfectly demonstrated. The skirt still has a good defensive power and the iron-toothed rat can't bite it at all. The iron-toothed rat that hit the armored part was directly knocked dizzy, which was in a disguised form a counterattack. Call. After driving away the iron-toothed rat, Chen Nuo breathed a sigh of relief. Not only was there no danger, but we also got a lot of supplies. In the warehouse, there are 350 extra animal tooth nails. Why so many? 10 times the reward, is it so delicious? Only then did Chen Nuo realize the abnormality of their 10 times reward talent. The trigger rate is very high, and the 10 times the supplies are super good. According to the current market conditions in the trading square, these animal tooth nails are enough to exchange for resources to upgrade the thatched hut, or even more than enough. What a pity. Chen Nuo looked at the direction where the mutant iron-toothed rat disappeared and couldn't help but sigh. If I had known that these iron-toothed rats were so vulnerable, I should have killed a few more of them. But he was not discouraged. Because what the wilderness has the most is mutated beasts. If you want to kill them, there is always a chance, provided you have the strength. After this battle, Chen Nuo deeply realized his own strength and became more courageous. After a short rest, he clicked on the task. Basic task, 2, hunt any mutant beast reward, beast tooth nails 10 completed. Basic task, 4, obtain any item from the hunted reward, sharp dagger 1 completed. Click one by one to receive the rewards. The number of animal tooth nails in the backpack became 360, and there was an extra sharp dagger. Chen Nuo had seen this dagger before. It was exactly the same dagger that Li Fan used in the live broadcast. Sharp dagger. Level 1. Quality, white. Attack, 2. Durability, 100/100. Description, a very ordinary dagger, very suitable for peeling fruit. Chen Nuo instantly lost interest and looked down on it. After resting, he felt hungry, so he slowly moved forward in the southeast direction. While searching for edible fruits, he silently memoized the surrounding terrain. It is a good habit to scout the location before a battle, as it may turn the tide of the battle and save your life at a critical moment. Time, another 10 minutes passed. The hungry Chen Nuo found 2 thick coconut trees. There are coconuts on one of the coconut trees. He picked up a stone and smashed the coconut down, dug a small hole with a dagger, sucked the juice and ate the pulp. The ripe coconut was quite filling and made him 7/10 full. As the satiety increases, their vitality will be restored to 300 points. At the same time, basic tasks 1 and 3 were also completed successfully. Get wood 10, rattan 10. Get dry bread 10. All current basic tasks are cleared. Chen Nuo felt much better as he looked at the abundant supplies in the warehouse. Now these supplies are his most valuable assets, more important than money in the civilized world. Because no matter how poor the civilized world is, people will never starve to death. But in the wilderness, lack of supplies can really lead to a miserable death. At this time, he was already very close to the mutant hare habitat. He sat down to rest and continued to recuperate. Sizzle. A flash of lightning streaked across the night sky, tearing through the dark clouds, and ushered in a moment of incomparable brightness between heaven and earth. The rainstorm is coming, we must hurry. Thinking about it, Chen Nuo stood up and walked towards the marked point on the map. Chapter 6 Mutant Snake King. 10 minutes later, Chen Nuo came to the area where the mutant rabbits lived. A rainstorm was approaching, and all the mutant hares hid in the caves. The green light from their bodies made the cave entrances glow faintly. Chen Nuo thought for a while, pulled out some wet grass and stuffed it into one of the holes. Then used torches to burn the wet grass, creating thick smoke. Some of the thick smoke came out, and most of it was fanned into the cave by Chen Nuo using leaves. Soon, a panicked, squeaking sound came from the cave. The mutant hares were running around in panic due to the smoke, and soon more than a dozen hares came out from the holes not far away. They were like ghostly ghost lights emerging from underground graves, green and dim, jumping up and down. Huh! The caves are connected. This discovery surprised Chen Nuo greatly and saved him the trouble of forcing them out one by one. At this time, the rabbits also discovered Chen Nuo, the culprit, and they squeaked angrily and jumped towards him. Come on, more. Chen Nuo's eyes turned fierce. He stuck the torch into the ground, held the sword in his left hand and the axe in his right hand, and was ready for battle. The mutant rabbit is extremely fast, but its attack is too weak. It looks fierce, but it actually doesn't hurt at all. The flame on their tails is so conspicuous that they become sitting ducks. Chen Nuo's sophisticated weapons were not to be trifled with. He swung his axe and slashed his dagger in the air, killing several of them in no time. That's it. Humph, so fancy. Chen Nuo smiled complacently. The legendary mutant beast seems to be just like this. If other survivors knew his idea, they would probably vomit blood. You are so well equipped, of course you are not afraid of rabbits. Soon, there were more than 20 dead rabbits in front of Chen Nuo. The piles of corpses of their companions made the remaining mutant rabbits dare not approach easily. They could only stand far away and sneer at the ferocious butcher Chen Nuo with fear. Come on. Come here if you are not afraid of death. Chen Nuo hung the dagger back and waved the torch provocatively. Seeing him so arrogant, the remaining dozen or so mutant rabbits were completely scared. They squeaked a few times and fled in all directions tacitly. Har 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 har. Chen Nuo laughed heartily. There was a hint of madness in the laughter. He didn't even dare to kill chickens at home before, but tonight he became a butcher in the wilderness. Deep inside my heart, it seemed as if the most primitive violent tendency was aroused. The feeling is very subtle, very pleasant, and also a bit of helpless pain. A reminder sounded in my ears. You took the initiative to attack and defeated the mutant rabbits. They dare not invade your territory again. Safe for now. Chen Nuo let out a long breath, sat down to rest, and checked the harvest. Among the more than 20 mutant rabbits, only a few dropped supplies, which were automatically put into the warehouse. Firetail 80 White. Introduction: the firetail can emit gentle heat and a faint fragrance, which makes most low-level beasts dare not approach rashly, including mosquitoes. Nice one. Chen Nuo's face lit up with joy. Mainly, the anti-mosquito function is very nice. With it, I can sleep soundly in the middle of the night. Although the shelter's defenses are strong enough to protect against any low-level beasts, it would still be very annoying if you were harassed by beasts all the time at night. After thinking about it, Chen Nuo decided to take a few rabbits back to store meat. Just as he put away his axe and squatted down to pick the fat rabbit meat, he suddenly felt a chill in his back. It was as if something in the darkness was locking onto him. He reflexively picked up the fearless battle axe and turned around. Then, he was stunned. Wow! Snake, what a big cobra! A few meters away, there was a cobra with its head raised upright. The cobra's body was as thick as his thigh, its neck was fan-shaped like a rainbow pattern wash basin, and its half-moon pupils were dark red, staring at him intently. Mutated Snake King Bronze Guardian. Level 8. Attack 28. Defense 11. Talent Deadly Venom. Introduction: be careful not to get bitten by it, its venom can kill a wild elephant instantly. Snakes are scary already, and this is a mutant king cobra. Calm down. You must calm down. Chen Nuo swallowed his saliva. He was very careful with even this action, for fear of causing any noise. Let your brain race and quickly dig up ways to deal with snakes. He had watched some documentaries about wild animals before and vaguely remembered that cobras had extremely poor eyesight and usually relied on their sense of smell and hearing to locate their prey. Therefore, in the current environment, he is almost certain to die. While he remained quiet, he discovered that the cobra's pupils were noticeably dilated, as if it was not sure there was someone in front of it. This further strengthened Chen Nuo's memory of the knowledge. This snake is basically a blind snake and mainly relies on smell and hearing to locate him. Chen Nuo guessed that the noise he made in the fight just now was too loud, which attracted the cobra. At the same time, think about countermeasures. In the current situation, it is impossible to escape. Either kill the snake or die. Right at this moment. The cobra suddenly moved forward tentatively, his tilde. At this moment, Chen Nuo's heart almost jumped out. There is no time to consider a foolproof plan. If we continue to waste time, we will be completely passive. Chen Nuo made up his mind and gently shook a hair in his hand, then used the inertia of the shaking to throw it out easily. It happened in the blink of an eye. The hair had barely left his hand when the cobra struck out fiercely. With a whoosh, the hair was bitten in mid-air. At the same time, Chen Nuo suppressed his inner fear, jumped up, holding the fearless axe tightly in both hands, and chopped the cobra's neck with the axe. With powerful force and sharp axe blade, the snake's head was chopped off with one axe. But this cobra had extremely strong vitality, and its head and body were twisting violently. Their head seemed to have inertia and rushed towards Chen Nuo fiercely. Fuck! Get out! Chen Nuo's axe strike just now had exhausted all his courage. He was in a panic now, supported only by an instinctive desire to survive. His brain was completely confused, and he used the fearless battle axe to resist the snake head like a conditioned reflex. Hiss! The cobra opened its bloody mouth and swallowed most of the fearless axe. The two huge and sharp fangs were only a few inches away from Chen Nuo's hand. Chen Nuo quickly loosened his hands and rolled on the ground. Well, actually, I was scared to the point of my legs going weak. Although it was panting heavily, it seemed that the cobra was still alive. Nima! Chen Nuo cursed angrily, then pulled out the white feather dagger on his ankle and stabbed it hard under the snake's head. What is the meaning of hitting the snake at its most vulnerable part? Damn, how could Chen Nuo think so much at this time? Just stab it. The extremely sharp white feather dagger pierced through the snake's belly in an instant, and his face was sprayed with snake blood. The hot and fishy smell completely aroused his ferocity. All I could hear was him roaring, "Arr," and gripping the white feather dagger tightly. He pulled it out and stabbed again, stabbing madly. During this period, Cobra also attempted a desperate counterattack. But its mouth was stuck by the dreadnought battle axe, and it could only hit Chen Nuo's arm frantically. Fortunately, Chen Nuo's arms were protected by light armor. Although they were hit and clanged, he didn't feel any pain. Finally, after countless stabs with the sword, the cobra died completely. Congratulations, you have hunted down the Bronze Guardian, the mutated Snake King. Get Poison Fang 2. Get Wind Rune 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Get Poison Fang 20. Get Wind Rune 10. Note, Guardians usually appear with mysterious treasure chests, so be sure to search nearby. Chapter 7, Making Wind Boots. After hearing the reminder, Chen Nuo gave up. He rolled sideways and lay on the ground, gasping for breath. His eyes changed from fierce to confused, and then to ecstasy of surviving the disaster. Har har, har har har, har 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 har. I'm alive. I'm alive. It took Chen Nuo half a minute to recover. The battle that just took place in such a short time was so thrilling. He checked his harvest excitedly. Poisonous Fang 20 green. Introduction: the teeth of a mutant snake king are extremely poisonous and a very rare material. Wind Rune 10 green. Introduction: runes can provide additional corresponding attributes for your various equipment. Chen Nuo just took a quick glance and closed the backpack. The most urgent thing is to leave this damn place. There are dangers lurking everywhere in the wilderness and jungle, and he doesn't want to attract any big guys again. He stood up and prepared to leave. At this moment, I caught a glimpse of a glowing object not far away. Could it be a treasure chest? Chen Nuo's heart moved. I suspect that the glowing object is the treasure chest that the system mentioned. Judging from the distance, it's only about 30 meters, so just touch it. Thinking of this, he ran towards the green light. In the bushes, there was a small, glowing bronze box, about the size of a Rubik's cube, and square in shape. Congratulations, you found a bronze treasure chest 1. Touch to open. Hint, the treasure chest may contain rare treasures, or it may be a huge danger. Congratulations, you have completed the exploration mission and the reward will be automatically received. Reward, you have one chance to get a rare treasure with 100% chance. With a 100% winning rate for exploration mission rewards, Chen Nuo did not hesitate and gently touched the treasure chest. Crack! The treasure chest is opened. There was an egg inside. Chen Nuo looked excited. Could it be that the European emperor was possessed and obtained a dragon egg like the protagonist in the novel? Oh, this dragon egg seems a little small. Get winged snake egg 1. Well, although it's not a dragon, a winged snake is not bad either. By the way, what does a winged snake look like? While he was wondering, the treasure chest disappeared. The egg is automatically stored in the warehouse. Winged snake egg 1 blue. Description: a baby winged snake can be hatched. Never mind, just keep it for now. Chen Nuo was not disappointed. According to the rules of the treasure chest, it is already good enough to get treasures. What's more, getting a blue quality treasure from a bronze treasure chest is really a stroke of luck. So even though he didn't trigger the tenfold reward, he was still happy. Immediately afterwards, Chen Nuo skinned the mutant Snake King. He then used a dagger to cut a few tough vines, tied up a few rabbits, and carried the spoils back. As soon as we returned to the shelter, there was a strong wind and heavy rain outside. This time, Chen Nuo was out for less than an hour, but he felt like he had been through the gates of hell. Fortunately, not only did I survive, but I also reaped a great reward. Sitting on the wooden bed, Chen Nuo counted the supplies. Apart from worthless materials such as wood boards and rattan, the warehouse is full of good things. He first took off the dirty Li Ning shoes and the snake skin of the snake head and placed them on the operating table. Select manufacturing boots category. Tip: the success rate is 100%. It seems that this snake skin is of good quality, the grade is so high. Chen Nuo was about to choose OK when he suddenly remembered the wind rune in the warehouse. With a trial mentality, he took out a wind rune and placed it on the universal operating table. Tip: fusion runes can enchant equipment with additional rune properties. Confirm. He made his choice without hesitation. After a flash of green light, a pair of brand new black Highland boots appeared on the operating table. Wind boots. Level 5. Quality green. Defense 20. Rune wind. Durability 600. Introduction: wear it and you can ride the wind. Upgrade conditions: green snake skin 1, wind rune 1. Chen Nuo couldn't wait to put them on. His feet felt amazing, as if they were wrapped in soft cotton. He had been running around for several hours today and his feet were covered with blisters. They were extremely sore when he stopped. But when putting on the wind boots, not only is there no discomfort at all, but it feels like I am getting a foot massage all the time. If this pair of boots were released in modern times, they would still be sold all over the world even with a price tag of $100,000, which is great value for money. Chen Nuo tried to run. Bang! Hit the wooden bed. Because with his usual habits, he is still unable to fully adapt to the speed enhancement of the wind rune, just like when the Flash just awakened. But with the experience of this car crash, Chen Nuo is confident that he can get used to it and master it in a short time. With excitement in his heart, Chen Nuo spread the hay he had collected earlier evenly on the wooden bed as a blanket and lay down on it. The temperature is very low at night, only a few degrees, and it may even drop to 2 degrees after midnight. Chen Nuo remembered the fire tail that the fire tail rabbit exploded, took out a strand and put it in the corner. Soon, the whole room was filled with a faint fragrance and gradually became warmer. He couldn't help but marvel at the effectiveness of this small flame, which actually had the functions of air conditioning and air freshener at the same time, like a night light. Then, Chen Nuo opened the chat channel, wanting to learn about the survival experience of other survivors before going to bed. Regional channels. Please, some kind soul, give me a cane. I just need one. If I don't upgrade my thatched hut, I'll be drowned. Don't be afraid, brother. I'll teach you how to fold the leaves into a basin and pour out the water. Maybe you can survive tonight. It's useless. Staying up all night will drain your energy. You won't be able to hunt for food tomorrow and you'll starve to death. Good luck to you, brother. Hey, haven't you been paying attention to the list? Boss Chen Nuo has entered the top 10 of the hunting list. Damn, it's true. It's only been 2 hours. Where did you go hunting? Braving the wind and rain to kill monsters. You should check the manufacturing list. Boss Chen Nuo has created another green equipment. At Chen Nuo, big boss, are you selling the wind boots? You can name any price. I'm willing to exchange all my belongings for them. You idiots, aren't we discussing mosquito prevention strategies? Don't get off topic. There are so many mosquitoes on rainy days. I'm almost bitten to death. What's there to be afraid of mosquitoes? There are iron-toothed rats all around me. Damn it, it's really annoying me. Send the coordinates. Iron-toothed rat and beast-toothed nails, I'll go get them. Who knows whether you are here to fight the iron-toothed rat or me? I won't send you any more. Damn. Where's the trust between people? I'm going crazy. This night is too hard, Jesus, please take me away, R. From the chat, we can see that on stormy nights, most of the survivors have a very hard time, and their lives are even in danger. But Chen Nuo does not have these worries. Looking at everyone's situation, he felt an inexplicable sense of guilt for lying in such a comfortable environment. So, Chen Nuo opened the trading channel and sold some of the supplies that were not needed temporarily. The main purpose of doing this is to help this group of refugees who are struggling to survive. Of course, he is not giving it away for free, but selling it at a low price. After all, he also needs to survive. Chapter 8: Selling Animal Tooth Nails. Chen Nuo posted a series of exchange information. Beast Tooth Nail 10, exchange wood 40. Beast Tooth Nails 18, change cane 70. Beast Tooth Nail 100, exchange for survival coin 3000. Beast Tooth Nail 100, exchange for any rune 1. Firetail 1, change to any armor 1 level 2 or above. Firetail 1, exchange for iron ore 10. These are the supplies he needs right now. Wood and rattan are used to upgrade shelters. The more runes and survival coins, the better. It would be best to get a few more pieces of protective gear. Saving the dog's life is the most important thing. Iron ore is essential for repairing equipment. After the previous battle, Chen Nuo deeply realized the importance of equipment. It can be said that when he was fighting against the mutant Snake King, if he lacked any piece of equipment, he would not be able to counterattack and kill the Snake King. Equipment will wear out during use, and will automatically disappear when its durability is depleted. Or you can recycle it on the operating table before it is depleted in exchange for a small amount of survival coins. By the way, the ratio of recycled materials in the system is really low. The recycling price of Chen Nuo's Fearless Battle Axe is only 100 survival coins. And the survival coins can only be used to purchase daily goods in the supply mall. A bottle of mineral water costs 200 survival coins. You can see how fraudulent it is. If converted into RMB, Fearless Battle Axe equals 100 survival coins equals 1 yuan. Therefore, survival coins can be called rich people's coins, and only survivors who are strong enough to have no shortage of supplies can possess them. Chen Nuo also wanted to be rich for once. After all, he had the conditions. Once his exchange information was released, it immediately caused a huge sensation. Louis used 40 pieces of wood to exchange for 10 of your animal tooth nails. Louis used 70 rattan sticks to exchange for 18 of your animal tooth nails. Louis used 1 level 1 armor to exchange for 1 of your fire tails. Louis used 10 iron ore to exchange for 1 of your fire tails. In less than a minute, the woman named Louis replaced the supplies that Chen Nuo had hung out with for sets. She even called it a taking care of old friends business on the regional channel. All survivors were outraged. Louis? Don't go too far. You bought the lighter from the boss this afternoon and sold it to me at 3 times the price. Did I say anything? This time I just want some animal teeth nails. You even monopolize this. Are you still a human being? I'm so angry. In the blink of an eye, the fire tail is gone. I want the fire tail too, Brother Nuo. Is its effect really as described? It can warm you up, refresh your body, and repel low-level beasts and mosquitoes. You're asking nonsense. Brother Nuo's prices are always fair. If it wasn't really useful, would he have priced it so high? At Chen Nuo, sir, please share with me where you got these goodies from, please. At Chen Nuo, I just asked the boss not to sell it to this woman anymore, we are the ones who will suffer. Chen Nuo also discovered that Louis seemed to be a survivor who specialized in reselling supplies. Earning various materials from the market price difference is definitely a profitable business, and it is also a very shrewd way of survival to get something for nothing. Therefore, everyone hates Louis' behavior. But Chen Nuo didn't care. He had a lot of supplies, and he would sell them as long as Louis could give him a satisfactory price. Who made Louis so straightforward? At this moment, in the chat channel, the survivors were criticizing Louis verbally and writtenly, and Louis was bargaining mercilessly. The number of records of the two sides verbally abusing each other quickly exceeded 500, and there was still no sign of it stopping. Chen Nuo couldn't stand it any longer and tried to stop the fight. All right, stop arguing. I still have all the supplies I put up for sale. There's plenty of stock. You can buy at double the price I put up. First come, first served. It'll last while stocks last. Chen Nuo's words, "There is enough supply," instantly made all the survivors vomit blood. Louis was also speechless. Boss, I know you are kind enough to try to stop the fight, but is it really okay for you to show off your treasure like this? Chen Nuo smiled helplessly. Show off treasure? This really doesn't exist. The real treasures in his warehouse would never be made public. But even if it was something he thought was common stuff, it was enough for other survivors to grab. Soon, someone offered a price and wanted to buy the animal tooth nails. 80 pieces of wood, looking to buy 10 animal tooth nails. Rattan 70, looking for animal tooth nails 18. Timber 82, want to buy animal tooth nails 10. 90 pieces of wood, looking to buy 10 animal tooth nails. A series of purchase messages immediately refreshed the trading channel like a scrolling screen. Currently, only Chen Nuo can do this business. The price of animal tooth nails also skyrocketed. It was not Chen Nuo who deliberately raised the prices, but the other survivors who raised the prices themselves. After all, compared to Louis' sky-high prices, they would rather purchase directly from the first-hand source Chen Nuo. Naturally, Chen Nuo accepted all offers and clicked on the exchange button. Anyway, he had checked, and with his current equipment, he could almost roam the surrounding area. If he went out hunting a few more times, he would get the animal teeth nails. He also reserved the 30 needed to upgrade the shelter. After exchanging the extra animal tooth nails for a pile of wood and vines, Chen Nuo was able to save a lot of time on gathering and only had to concentrate on killing monsters and getting supplies. After a while, his only friend, Louis, sent him a message. Boss, you are disrupting the market. What do you mean? Beastfang nails are essential materials for upgrading the shelter. They will be scarce in the coming period of time. Wood and vines are easy to collect, so the exchange rate should be increased. Chen Nuo thought about it and replied, "It doesn't matter, it's fun to help others." Louis was unhappy and thought to herself, "If you help them, aren't you stealing my business?" Chen Nuo knew what she was thinking, but he didn't argue with her. He said, "Let's go to sleep. I'll send you a private message when I have something good later." Louis was overjoyed, "Really?" Chen Nuo, "Yes, as long as the price is right." He deliberately put the word "suitable" in quotation marks. The meaning is self-evident. He thinks the price Louis paid for the previous exchange was too low. This shows that he is not stupid. He didn't point it out because he hoped that Louis would give him some juice. After finishing the chat, Chen Nuo closed the system interface and quickly fell asleep. "I had a dreamless night and slept very soundly." While sleeping, the player's spirit will slowly recover, but satisfaction will gradually decrease. In fact, it is no different from normal life, except that the system has digitized them, which helps the survivors to understand their own status at all times. The next day, when Chen Nuo woke up, his stomach growled with hunger. He ate the bread with water, just one piece of bread to temporarily relieve his hunger. Because bread is easy to carry, it can play a big role in future adventures. Moreover, the price of a loaf of bread in the supply mall is as high as 300 survival coins, which is considered a scarce supply. So he felt a little sad after eating a piece of bread. Well, it seems that I will have to use bread as dry food from now on. If you're at home, you have to make your own food. Thinking about this, Chen Nuo turned his attention to the few wild rabbits he brought back last night. Chapter 9. I'm really a novice. After testing, it was found that the universal crafting table cannot produce food and water. Therefore, if Chen Nuo wanted to fill his stomach, he could only rely on self-sufficiency. Rabbits are so cute, how do you eat them? Chen Nuo chooses barbecue. He picked up 2 hares and brought them to the stream, where he gutted them with a dagger and cleaned them. Then the earth pit dug last night was converted into a firewood stove commonly seen in rural areas. This kind of wood stove can effectively save heat, concentrate the firepower, save dry firewood, and the grilled ingredients are very delicious. Then he cut 2 thick branches, strung 2 cleaned rabbits together, and placed them over the fire outlet. Then light a fire and start roasting the rabbit. While grilling the rabbit meat, Chen Nuo kept an eye on the trading channel and the chat channel. At Chen Nuo, sir, do you still have animal tooth nails? Damn, I fell asleep last night and missed a great acquisition opportunity. At Chen Nuo, sir, if you need anything, I will contact you as soon as I find out. Boss, it is better to teach a man how to fish than to give him a fish. Please start a live broadcast to teach us some survival tips. Brother Nuo, I have a lot of stone and iron ore around me. As long as you give the order, I will go and help you collect them. Chen Nuo just watched silently, and just like yesterday, he spent most of the time diving. Unless he encounters materials that he particularly needs. Start live broadcast. Not considering. He just wants to make a fortune quietly. Moreover, he had heard from other survivors that there was a high chance that live streaming would attract ruthless characters, and that Li Fan was a bloody example. Just like the old saying goes, people are afraid of being famous just like pigs are afraid of being fat. If you do a live broadcast in the wilderness, you will die if you fail. As for the materials that are currently being discussed the most, Chen Nuo had no shortage of animal tooth nails, and he also knew where to get them. But I don't know where to get the stone and iron ore. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo looked back at the stone wall behind the hut, his eyes lit up. As for stone, there seems to be no shortage of it. Well, after we're full, let's learn how to collect materials. As I thought of this, the aroma of barbecue became stronger and stronger. With his flip roasting method, the 2 plump rabbits have golden skin, crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, exuding an aroma that makes people drool. After a while, Chen Nuo couldn't resist his greed, so he untied a rabbit leg and started eating it. The taste is simply amazing. Even without any seasoning, it is as good as the chefs in star hotels. I can only say that high-quality ingredients taste good no matter how you cook them. At first, Chen Nuo ate very politely, but before he knew it, he started to wolf down the food. Hiccup tilde. After burping, he touched his stomach which was almost full, and reluctantly wrapped a half-roasted rabbit meat in leaves and put it into their house. After eating and drinking, start working. Chen Nuo remembered that he was a newbie. How to collect materials. He is in Phuket. At this time, a survivor who had just landed on a deserted island asked in the chat channel. Where is this? Are you all survivors of the plane crash? Can you guys help me, big brothers and big sisters? My coordinates are 445.232, and there is a big reef next to it. Woo, please talk to me, okay? The system asked me to collect wood and vines. How can I collect them? I don't dare to leave the beach. Faced with this man's desperate request for help, the chat channel was filled with indifference. Most people don't bother with idiots like this. Since the system has been activated, it means that you have received a system prompt, and you should know that this is not an ordinary air crash, but a wilderness world where the strong prey on the weak. How dare you send the coordinates in this situation? You must be an idiot. Therefore, only some organized gangs paid attention to her. Chen Nuo was sure that these guys were not kind-hearted and most likely ran over in time to rob her of her things. If nothing unexpected happens, this guy will be robbed of all his belongings, not even his underwear. At this time, Chen Nuo decided to help this man a little. He at this person, and then asked, I also want to know how to collect supplies. Is there any kind-hearted person who can explain it to me? As soon as Chen Nuo opened his mouth, the chat channel immediately exploded. Hey, Brother Nuo, stop joking. Your shelter is at least 5, right? How could you not know how to collect? Yeah, big boss, please stop being sour on us. We are not qualified to give you instructions. By the way, does Boss Chen Nuo know this girl? The one upstairs, shut up. Oh, yeah, we don't know anything. Chen Nuo was speechless. He would occasionally pop up, and whenever he popped up he would at people, thinking that smart people would give him some face and not plunder this poor idiot. Who knew that the other survivors were too smart and thought too much? Everyone thought that Chen Nuo asked a nonsense question on purpose, and that he had other intentions. They thought that Chen Nuo was getting close to this idiot and was going to rob him or do something unspeakable to him. In fact, they didn't know that Chen Nuo, the big boss, was actually just a rookie in the wilderness. He really didn't mean to hurt anyone. I would also like to ask about the collection method. But do others believe it? If you were in the same situation and met a super master in the king rank in the game, and he asked you how to defeat the tower in this game, what would you think? Chen Nuo emphasized, I really want to learn how to collect. To be more precise, I want to learn how to collect stone materials. Can anyone tell me the details? Brother Nuo, please stop pretending. The big guys just love to tease us rookies. Speaking of which, I would like to ask everyone to teach me how to build a thatched house. Get lost upstairs. Don't you have any shame? Can you imitate the humor of Chen Nuo? Chen Nuo smiled bitterly. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I'm such a newbie. At this time, Louis sent a private message, Boss, do you know that new guy? Chen Nuo didn't reply. Louis knew he was there, but she deliberately didn't reply. What did that mean? After half a minute, Louis said again, I understand, I will say hello, and others will not snatch it from you. Chen Nuo said depressedly, fuck, what do you understand? You understand, who do you think I am? Louis, it's nothing. We all have a tacit understanding. Chen Nuo thought to himself, I am not the kind of villain you imagine. But on second thought, he gave up explaining. Let it be a misunderstanding. This will not only help the newcomer, but also prevent others from provoke him easily. As for their tacit understanding that Louis mentioned, Chen Nuo knew what it meant. This is a deserted island, and survival is the kingly thing. Without the constraints of law and morality, and without surveillance cameras, no one dares to say anything no matter who does anything. In the wild world, fists are the only way. Chen Nuo even guessed that Louis suspected that all his supplies were looted. Otherwise, how could a new name that appeared out of nowhere have so many high-end supplies in a short period of time? Plundering is always the fastest way to develop. Many people thought that Chen Nuo's silence was a tacit agreement. Who cares? Think whatever you want. While feeling depressed, Chen Nuo said in the regional channel, whoever teaches me how to collect stones will get a beast tooth nail. The chat channel exploded instantly. Are you serious, sir? Fuck, the boss is so willful. Is this even a joke? At Chen Nuo, Brother Nuo, I'm telling you. Chapter 10, Lawless, Robbery and Sex. Then, someone gave a detailed introduction to the knowledge of collection. Collection requires relevant tools, and the compatibility of the tools will directly affect the time and amount of materials collected. For example, if you have an axe, you can get several pieces of wood by chopping the tree a few times. But if you use the dagger given by the system, you may not get much by chopping for a long time. For example, when collecting vines, a dagger is more efficient than an axe. In short, to collect supplies, it is best to have the corresponding tools. When Chen Nuo was preparing to collect stone, the most suitable tool was their iron pickaxe. Oh my god! I've used up all the plain wreckage. How am I going to make a pickaxe? While he was in trouble, Chen Nuo's eyes suddenly lit up. That's right. New arrivals mean new plain wreckage. He hurriedly looked up the chat channel records and found the coordinates sent by the new idiot, which were not far from him. After a slight hesitation, he returned to their hut and took out their winged serpent eggs and wind runes he had harvested last night and put them away. I was thinking that if I encountered a group of people that I couldn't beat, I wouldn't be robbed too badly. As long as Chen Nuo is not dead, no one else can enter the shelter. Even if they attack by force, Chen Nuo will receive a prompt immediately. Therefore, it is safer to leave precious supplies in a shelter than to carry them with you. Half an hour later. Chen Nuo came to the beach. Due to the trauma of watching the live broadcast yesterday, he didn't dare to get too close to the beach. So when he saw the level 1 thatched house on the beach, he couldn't help but curse in his heart, "Idiot." Everyone knows that the wind is strongest at the seaside. And if it rains heavily, the tide will rise. If we're unlucky, that thatched hut won't even survive tonight. If you encounter a mutated sea beast, har har. Even if it can withstand heavy rain, not be submerged by the tide, and not be attacked by sea beasts, a level 1 thatched hut has pitifully low defense and durability. Being built in such a conspicuous place is equivalent to shouting to the mutant beasts and their kind in disguise, "Come and eat me, come and rob me, I am so easy to bully." Isn't this stupid enough? Chen Nuo glanced at the thatched hut, then looked away and began to repeat yesterday's collection work along the beach. Fortunately, not long after we walked, we saw the waves carrying a piece of plane wreckage onto the beach. He ran over and picked it up, then quickly left the beach and continued searching along the way. At the same time, in the thatched house, a cute little girl with twin ponytails was hugging a rag bear doll. Her slender white legs under her JK skirt were pressed together and her whole body was trembling. That cute face was filled with panic and fear. Her name is Li Xiaoyu. She was lucky enough to survive the plane crash with all her limbs intact. But when she woke up, there was no one around her and she had completely lost contact with her family. Then, like countless other survivors, he activated the system and started surviving in the wilderness. At first, she was so scared that she lost her mind and instinctively followed the system and asked others for help, which led to her doing things that others considered stupid. As time went by, Li Xiaoyu gradually discovered that something was wrong. Why are these so-called survivors so indifferent? And those mutant beasts they talk about, so scary. Even their words and actions are full of barbaric and vulgar meanings. In short, the survivors' reactions greatly stimulated the heart of this rich young lady who had just been separated from her family. After a while, Li Xiaoyu discovered two groups of guys with bad intentions. Those guys were clearly human, but they were dressed like savages, holding weapons in their hands. Some of them were hiding in the woods, and some were behind rocks, as if they had already set their sights on her. Li Xiaoyu became even more frightened. Now we are surrounded on two sides, one side is the sea, and the other side is the only way to escape. She mustered up her courage and prepared to run for her life. But when I looked outside, I found that the only way to escape was blocked by a pervert. It was a young man walking towards the beach. The man was about 1.8 meters tall and thin. He was wearing a strange women's armor skirt. The armor on his upper body sparkled in the sunlight, but he was wearing a pair of black soft leather boots and holding a large battle axe in his hand. He looked very barbaric and perverted. So Li Xiaoyu hid back in the hut, shivering and silently praying for God's blessing. At this time, Chen Nuo also discovered the two groups of sneaky survivors. One group hid behind the reefs, and the other group hid in the shallow jungle. He didn't know how many people there were on the other side, so he didn't dare to act rashly. And he was not sure whether the other party was coming for him or for their idiot in their hut. In short, he has no good intentions. Now, Chen Nuo has collected some supplies and two pieces of aircraft wreckage. The wreckage of the plane is converted into system copies, which is about 20 copies, more than enough to make an iron pickaxe. However, how to go back? If I return the same way I came, what if these two gangs are coming for me and are following me? The other party has more people and more power, so Chen Nuo doesn't want to provoke them for the time being. He hesitated for a moment, turned his gaze to the thatched hut by the sea, made up his mind, and walked over with his battle axe in hand. When Li Xiaoyu saw the perverted barbarian striding towards her, her heart skipped a beat with fear. What does he want to do? He looks fierce. He wouldn't be thinking getting closer. Chen Nuo had a ferocious look on his face, which was clearly seen by Li Xiaoyu. Then he saw Chen Nuo adjusting his axe grip and said coldly, "If you don't want to die, follow me." Li Xiaoyu certainly didn't want to die. Her instinctive desire to survive prompted her to nod like a chicken pecking at rice. But Chen Nuo still raised the axe high and chopped it down with a swish. The axe directly opened a hole in the window of the thatched hut. You are untrustworthy. I have already agreed to surrender, why are you still attacking me?" Li Xiaoyu was anxious and scared and started crying. Chen Nuo pretended not to see or hear anything and continued hacking at the thatched hut. After a few blows of the axe, the thatched hut was on the verge of collapse. After a few more axe strikes, the thatched house lost all its durability and disappeared from its spot. Li Xiaoyu lost her last sense of security and cried loudly, begging for mercy, "Don't kill me. Don't kill me, my family is rich, I can give you a lot of money, please don't kill me." Chen Nuo was indifferent and said coldly, "Cry again, I will scratch your face. Come with me." This threat was very effective. Li Xiaoyu's wailing turned into loud sobbing. "Hey!" Chen Nuo showed an evil smile and reached out to grab the teddy bear doll in her arms. Then he roughly picked up Li Xiaoyu, walked into the woods, and quickly disappeared into the forest. The two gangs of survivors hiding in the dark were terrified. "Brother, this guy actually dared to steal our prey, what should I say? Fuck you. Didn't you see his axe? He destroyed the thatched hut in just a few strokes. How can we afford to mess with such a ruthless guy? Hiss. Brother is right, we can't afford to offend this guy. I've seen cruel things, but I've never seen anything this cruel." They didn't even bother to negotiate verbally, and just went straight to robbing her of her money and her body. You can tell at a glance that she's a habitual lawless criminal. Tell me, is he the Chen Nuo? Nonsense. Looking at his equipment, who else could it be but Chen Nuo? I was wondering why Chen Nuo was so rich, turns out he got it all by robbing. It's a pity that the distance was too far, so I couldn't see her face clearly, but that girl has a really nice figure. Humph. If anyone is jealous, you can follow them. I won't stop you. Many people thought about tracking, but when they thought that the other party might be Chen Nuo, they killed the idea. After all, with Chen Nuo's reputation and high-end equipment, he can easily walk sideways among the survivors. Following Chen Nuo now is simply courting death, it's like sticking your neck out for someone to slaughter you. Chapter 11 Block Attribute. You hurt me. In the woods, Li Xiaoyu said while crying. Chen Nuo narrowed his eyes and examined her. I have to say, this girl is indeed a beauty. But Chen Nuo didn't have the mood to think about these things now, and he didn't even have any interest in being a hero saving a beautiful girl. Just now, he just deliberately used the girl to show his strength and ferocity. Pretending to be tough was very effective, and no survivor dared to follow him and cause trouble. After making sure that no one was following him, Chen Nuo let go of the girl and said seriously. Remember, this is the wilderness, and humans can also be beasts, you know what I mean? You should be thankful that I'm not a bad person, at least not yet. But I'm not a good person either. I won't take you in or help you. You'd better not expect others to help you unconditionally in the future. After saying that, Chen Nuo took out some wood and rattan from the warehouse and threw them in front of the girl. Use these supplies to rebuild the shelter. Remember, don't choose a conspicuous place. He looked at the girl's cowardly and helpless expression and petite body, and a damn sense of pity rose in his heart. Take these shoes too, run fast. Chen Nuo took off his wind boots, and even though he felt a little sad, he still gritted his teeth and gave them to the girl. No matter what, he was the one who brought the man into the forest, so he should bear some responsibility. Giving away this pair of shoes will make Chen Nuo feel better. From now on, whether the girl lives or dies, it has nothing to do with him. Stay alive. Leaving these words full of profound meaning, Chen Nuo left decisively. Li Xiaoyu was completely confused. She thought that a miserable fate would be waiting for her, but she didn't expect that the other party not only did not touch her, but gave her a bunch of precious things. She only realized now that this man was saving her. If it weren't for him, what would be waiting for her would be besieged by two groups of enemies, and the outcome can be imagined. After making sure that no one was following him, Chen Nuo quietly returned to the shelter. When I walked into their house, the first thing I did was to make a new pair of shoes. Now that we have aluminum alloys, the shoes made it definitely more advanced. He placed aluminum alloy, wind runes, and snake skin from the body and tail of the mutant Snake King on the universal operating table. At that time he cut the mutant Snake King into two parts, and the snake skin was divided into two pieces. Selection, manufacture of footwear. After a flash of black and white, a pair of brand new shoes appeared before our eyes. Light combat boots. Level, 6. Quality, green. Block, 13 blocks some damage. Defense, 30. Rune, wind. Durability, 700. Introduction, it not only has strong defense and super fast speed, but also can block some damage. Nice one. Chen Nuo's eyes lit up. This pair of combat boots is lighter to wear, has stronger defense, and has blocking properties, making it more suitable for combat. It really is a pair of real combat boots. It would be nice if the armor also had a blocking effect. Chen Nuo looked down and saw that almost his entire body was covered in armor and combat boots. As long as he was careful, it would be difficult for others to touch his skin. So, he simply used all the remaining snake skin to strengthen his armor. Just treat it as a test of luck and bet on the blocking attribute. If successful, you will have an extra guarantee of survival when fighting monsters in the future. He took off his light armor and placed it on the operating table along with the snake skin. Tip: manufacturing success rate is 79%. Then add some more. Chen Nuo put in a wind rune out of his wealth. Tip: the manufacturing success rate is 100%. Manufacture. Select OK. After a brief flash of light, a brand new set of silver armor was born. Light armor, light armor. Level, 6-8. Quality, white-green. Defense, 1840. Durability, 500,500,800,800. This is the original property change. In addition, 2 additional properties were added. Counterattack, 20 reflects some damage. Rune, wind. The overall appearance color has changed, with bright silver and black colors, making it look more advanced. Generally speaking, the transformation from a musket to a cannon is a significant improvement. Fight back. So nice. Next time when you encounter a group attacked by small wild animals like the iron-toothed rat, you don't have to do anything yourself, you can fight back and kill many of them. Chen Nuo was so happy. He never expected that making shoes again would give him such great inspiration and allow him to successfully create 2 defensive artifacts. Of course, this has a lot to do with the materials. Aluminum alloy is a scarce material. Only with the addition of green-grade snake skin and green-grade wind runes can such high-end equipment be produced. It is true that wealth and honor are sort in danger. If I have the chance in the future, I must go and fight a few more high-level mutant beasts. Putting away his excitement, Chen Nuo put on new armor and combat boots, and then began to make their collection tool, the iron pickaxe. He placed the remaining aluminum alloy and a thick wooden stick on the operating table. Tip: the manufacturing success rate is 100%. After a slight hesitation, Chen Nuo threw a wind rune generously. Manufacturing success. Pickaxe. Level, 5. Grade, green. Attack, 16. Rune, wind. Durability, 700 collection tools generally have higher durability. Introduction: this iron pickaxe can not only greatly improve the collection efficiency, but also be used as a weapon. With the tools in hand, Chen Nuo couldn't wait to go outside. Work. He followed the collection method others had told him and hit the stone wall with a pickaxe. Ding ding. Ding ding. After a few symbolic knocks, a system prompt sounded in my ears. Collection successful, obtain stone 10. Trigger 10 times reward. Obtain stone 100. Oh, so fast. Didn't they say that we usually have to wait a while? Did that guy lie to me? Chen Nuo continued knocking on the stone wall with confusion. Ding ding. Ding ding. Collection successful, stone 14 obtained. Trigger 10 times reward. Collection successful. Trigger 10 times reward. Collection successful. Collection successful. Trigger 10 times reward. In just 10 minutes, Chen Nuo's backpack already had stone 4,200. Are this? Chen Nuo was having a blast just now. It's not difficult at all, and it's even quite fun. Who knew that 4,200 pieces of stone would be knocked out accidentally? This is a bit confusing. With doubts, Chen Nuo picked up the pickaxe and walked back to the wooden house. Then he opened the chat channel and asked, "Excuse me, what is your success rate in collecting materials?" Fuck. Are you done enjoying yourself, boss? Ahem. It's okay, big brother. My brother was just talking nonsense. Don't take it to heart. Brother Nuo, are you still in need of a younger brother? I promise to be loyal to you. Brother Nuo, from now on I am willing to serve you at all times, even if it means death. Brother Nuo, there are quite a lot of survivors around me, can we chat privately? The fastest spreading thing in the world is always gossip. The news that Chen Nuo took the little loli into the woods had spread. According to some guy's exaggerated story, Chen Nuo was a ruthless man who didn't talk much. He directly destroyed the other person's shelter, took the little girl into the woods, raped her, and acted as fiercely as a bird. So much so that everyone knows that Chen Nuo is a ruthless person who robs people of their money and rapes them. Naturally, everyone wanted to follow Chen Nuo, even if it was just being a younger brother, it would be cool. As for their victim, Li Xiaoyu never appeared in the chat channel again after being cancelled by Chen Nuo, and everyone thought she had been silenced. Many villains thought that it was such a waste that Chen Nuo killed people right after having fun. Some people even took the initiative to provide information to Chen Nuo, trying to join forces with Chen Nuo to plunder other survivors. Chen Nuo had already realized that he was misunderstood as a bad guy, so he was too lazy to explain. Chapter 12, Boar Lord. I'm asking about collection, such as collecting stone. If anyone knows, please tell me. The more detailed the better. It would be best if you could tell me the market price of the stone. Seeing that Chen Nuo didn't want to discuss that topic, everyone answered the questions tactfully. The success rate of collection depends on the compatibility and level of the tools. Generally speaking, if you choose the right tools, the success rate is about 50%, and with a bit of luck it can reach 60%. When I was luckiest, I collected 500 stones in half a day. Fuck. Is the person upstairs serious? 500. Sent out. Brother, I just upgraded my shelter to level 3. I'm in great need of stone materials right now. Can you sell me some? I want stone too, brother, give me a price. As soon as they heard that someone had 500 pieces of stone, everyone started sending messages to buy them. Chen Nuo got the answer he wanted and continued diving. The guy in the channel who collected 500 stones in half a day made people envious and jealous, so his record of collecting 4,200 stones in 10 minutes with a success rate of over 90% should not be told to others to avoid annoying others. He silently clicked on his only friend and said to Louis, I have 4,200 stones, how much can you eat? Louis? At this stage, stone is also one of the goods that is in short supply in the market. Even Louis, a profiteer, couldn't afford the price for such a huge amount of stone. Louis seriously suspected that Chen Nuo was teasing her. Boss, do you really have it? Yes, I will sell them all if the price is right. Okay, what do you need? Green material. This. Louis was in a dilemma. Almost every green material is obtained by players at the cost of their lives. They are higher quality and rarer than white materials, so their prices are naturally higher. 4 pieces of green material. Chen Nuo quoted the expected price. Louis immediately said, deal. Oh. Is it so straightforward? Chen Nuo realized that he had been cheated again. But it doesn't matter. He has no shortage of stone anyway, so he will exchange as much as the other party has. The key now is to improve your strength as quickly as possible. As for other things, they are all fake. Boss, give me a day and I'll go to the market to buy them. Don't worry, I'll definitely get you for green materials in a day. Okay. Chen Nuo agreed readily. After finishing the stone issue, Chen Nuo was not in a hurry to upgrade the shelter. Because upgrading the shelter will attract attacks by wild beasts. According to his guess, the level 2 shelter will attract a large number of level 3 beasts, so the level 3 shelter will likely be invaded by more level 4 beasts. He decided to play it safe first and familiarize himself with the types and strengths of the wild beasts nearby, just to be prepared. It was almost noon. The damn weather is starting to get hot again. Chen Nuo lay down for a while in the afternoon to replenish his energy. After waking up, I ate some cold rabbit meat to restore my satiety. After replenishing the 2 states, he put on 2 new pieces of equipment and explored forward along the mountain wall. As he moved forward, he knocked on the mountain wall casually. You can collect things while traveling. After a while, the number of stones in his backpack increased to 5,600. I wonder what other survivors would think if they knew that he could collect stones so easily and the harvest was so abnormal. On the way, Chen Nuo didn't encounter any wild beasts, but there were quite a few small reptiles. He was too lazy to use an axe and just stomped them to death. In comparison, his trip to fight monsters this time was like traveling, with the sole purpose of scouting the area. The reptiles that died tragically at his feet dropped all kinds of medicines. It took about half an hour to walk. Chen Nuo started to return according to the map. Not far ahead was the place where he fought the mutant Snake King last night. He was familiar with this area, so he subconsciously lowered his guard. Soon, he saw a group of hares digging holes. Aren't these the rabbits he slaughtered last night? The hares also spotted him and thought he was here to kill them, so they squeaked and ran away in panic. Har har, don't worry, I have enough rabbits at home to eat. Chen Nuo laughed to his own amusement. However, at this moment, the system suddenly sounded a prompt. You have entered the territory of the mutant wild boar. Wild boar? Territory? That sounds awesome. Instead of being afraid, Chen Nuo became even more excited. It's a good opportunity to use the wild boar to test the power of the new equipment. The amount of meat from a wild boar is enough for him to eat for a long time. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo held the axe in both hands and moved forward cautiously. Not far away, two wild boars were having sex and making piglets, and they had no time to pay attention to the strange smell. But the smell moved towards this side, and both wild boars smelled metal and hostility. Raw. The boar suddenly went berserk. A pair of red eyes stared at the direction where Chen Nuo was, then pulled out a pig whip and rushed over without saying a word. Chen Nuo just heard the rustling sound coming from the front, and then a big guy rushed over. Wow! So fast! His face changed drastically and he quickly hid behind a tree. The huge black shadow almost brushed past his body, bringing up a gust of wind. The moment your eyes catch the wild boar, the information about the wild boar automatically appears before your eyes. Mutant Boar Lord. Level, 10. Attack, 32. Defense, 30. Talent, Savage Charge. Introduction, be careful, the mad wild boar even dares to challenge the wild elephant alone. Chen Nuo was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. I was careless. This big guy is not easy to deal with. The attack power of the fearless axe is only 12 points, while the mutant wild boar's defense reaches 30 points. This means that the fearless battle axe cannot break the wild boar's thick skin and flesh. As soon as this thought flashed through Chen Nuo's mind, the wild boar had already stopped in its tracks, turned around and continued to rush towards him. Swish! While he dodged the brutal charge, he swung an axe at the pig's butt. It's scraping indeed. Apart from shaving off a few pig hairs, the skin was not even cut. Instead, his arm was hit by the pig's tail, causing his entire arm to go numb. Nimmer, what a fierce second brother. Chen Nuo's nerves tensed up, and he deeply regretted provoking him. There are only 36 strategies left at the moment, and the best one is to run away. He put away his axe and climbed up the tree in front of him. At this time, the wind attribute speed of the combat boots saved his life again. Not only could he run fast, he could also climb trees very fast. The wild boar's third charge hit a tree and knocked itself dizzy. This tree, which is as big as a wash basin, is very tough. It only shook slightly and not many leaves fell off. This gave Chen Nuo a sense of security, and he quickly climbed up using his hands and feet. Soon, Chen Nuo sat on the top of a tree about 7 or 8 meters high, and his sense of crisis was slightly alleviated. The wild boar seemed to be not very smart. Even though it knew it couldn't break the tree, it still kept ramming it. It even thought of using its two curved tusks to grind the bark. After struggling for a while, the wild boar panted heavily, raised its head and glared at Chen Nuo angrily, then left unwillingly. However, Chen Nuo didn't want to let it go. He could see that the frantic boar was exhausted. Otherwise, with the wild boar's violent temper, it would never let him go. In that case, let us kill it while it's still sick. Chen Nuo, who was staying on the tree, had rested enough and thought of a strategy to deal with the wild boar. Hey! Dead pig! With a provocative sound, Chen Nuo threw a piece of wood at the wild boar. Snap! Zero harm, but extremely insulting. The wild boar roared, turned around and continued to hit the tree. It wished it could grow a pair of wings, fly up and crush this hateful and cowardly human into pieces. Chapter 13 Ironwood and Stone. Is this all you can do? Come on, come on. Let me see how strong you are. Oh, that's it. Chen Nuo would make provocative remarks every once in a while. The wild boar didn't understand human language, but seeing Chen Nuo's smug look, it could tell with its butt that he was trying to provoke him. The wild boar was screaming in his heart. He was not very smart to begin with, and his anger extinguished all his rationality. He just kept ramming his head against the tree and soon became exhausted. Seeing that the wild boar had completely lost its strength, Chen Nuo's expression became serious, and a hint of cruelty flashed across his eyes. Stupid pig, no more. Hee hee. Now it's my turn to perform. Immediately he gripped the battle axe tightly and slid down the tree trunk. But just as he was about to jump down, a wild boar came running over from a distance. Fuck! Chen Nuo screamed and climbed up again in a hurry. His speed was much faster than when he came down. Then, the female wild boar that came to support the second brother seemed to have received instructions from the second brother and also started to hit the tree crazily. Chen Nuo breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, these two wild boars are not very intelligent, with strong limbs but simple minds. Otherwise, if they adopted the tactic of taking turns to wait, Chen Nuo would be dead sooner or later. But now, the two wild boars were just busy hitting the tree with all their might, expending all their strength on this extremely tough iron tree. Eventually, they would run out of strength. All Chen Nuo needs to do is wait and provoke. It has to be said that wild boars have amazing endurance. Chen Nuo waited until dusk until the two wild boars were completely weakened. Even so, dealing with both at the same time was still a big challenge for Chen Nuo. But no matter how difficult it is, we must give it a try. Chen Nuo slid down the tree, jumped to the ground, and as soon as he stepped firmly on the ground, he immediately avoided the brutal charge of the two wild boars. Now that both wild boars were very weak, he had more room to maneuver. While dodging left and right, always looking for opportunities. The target is the wild boar's vulnerable part, the eyes. As long as he blinded two wild boars, he would have no problem killing the other party. Bang! Chen Nuo was distracted for a moment and was hit hard on the back. Fortunately, the light armor has extremely high defense, and the wild boar cannot break through the defense. So Chen Nuo was just knocked off balance and was not hurt at all. On the contrary, the wild boar that hit it was in even worse condition. It was bounced back several meters by a strange force, one of its fangs shattered, and it howled in pain. The counterattack effect was triggered. Chen Nuo was delighted. While the wild boar was stunned, he turned around quickly and rushed forward, accurately hitting the wild boar's eyes with an axe. The wild boar's screams became louder and sharper. Then he rushed towards Chen Nuo like a madman. But Chen Nuo had enough physical strength, and he had the bonus of 2 wind runes on his body, so his speed was so fast that the random attacks couldn't touch him at all. Now! Chen Nuo's eyes turned fierce, and he found a perfect opportunity, and swung his axe towards the wild boar's bloody mouth. Blood splatters. The wild boar finally broke through. The female wild boar was originally trying to help, but when it saw that the second brother was obviously unable to do it, it hesitated a little and ran away. Now only the seriously injured second brother is left. Chen Nuo became braver and braver as the battle went on. He continued to use his light short sword to fight more flexibly. The second brother wanted to escape, but Chen Nuo would never let him go. He chased and stabbed fiercely all the way, consuming the second brother's vitality bit by bit. Finally, a stab in the throat sent it to death. Kill the mutant wild boar lord. Obtain skill, brutal charge, 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Obtain skill, brutal charge, 10. Tip: this skill cannot be upgraded, and the remaining skills 9 have been automatically converted into survival coins 9,000. Chen Nuo was stunned for a moment, then he was ecstatic. Good things happened one after another, and he was so happy that he almost suffocated. Chen Nuo, who had won a great victory, collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. Although he had little strength left, he had to cheer up. If he was attacked by other wild beasts at this time, he would be wronged. He opened his personal warehouse and found a small fruit inside. This is the stamina fruit that dropped when he stepped on a mutant lizard to death. Taking it can instantly increase your stamina. The smell of the stamina fruit was a bit unpleasant, but Chen Nuo still pinched his nose and swallowed it. The effect is great. He felt that his whole body's strength was greatly replenished. Even if the escaped sow wild boar comes back to attack him, he is not afraid. After replenishing his strength, Chen Nuo flipped over and did not prioritize collecting his second brother's body, but instead set his sights on the iron tree. This kind of iron tree is not common. Its trunk is bare and its toughness has been proven. Even after being hit several times by wild boars, it still stands tall. Of course Chen Nuo would not let go of such good material. He walked back to the tree, axe in hand. Iron tree. Collectible. After checking, Chen Nuo symbolically cut down the tree. Collection successful, obtain ironwood 2. Trigger 10 times reward. Obtain ironwood 20. Collection successful, obtain ironwood 3. Collection successful. Trigger 10 times reward. A series of prompts emerged. Until the iron tree completely disappeared. There was an additional, ironwood 353, in Chen Nuo's warehouse. Unfortunately, the battle axe is of low quality and the collection efficiency is not high. He looked around the circle. I didn't find such an iron tree, but I did find a large bare rock. There are many marks on this big stone, which may have been used by wild boars to grind their teeth. With a trial mentality, Chen Nuo took out an iron pickaxe, walked to the stone and started knocking on it to collect it. Collection successful, obtain essence stone 11. Trigger 10 times reward. Get essence stone 110. Sperm stone. Sure enough, like Tiemu, it is green. Chen Nuo was full of energy and continued to bang and collect. 5 minutes later. The stone disappeared and turned into Spirit Stone 2150 in his warehouse. Green tools are different. Chen Nuo likes this pickaxe more and more. It is truly a fighter among collecting tools. Combined with his 10 times reward talent, every chisel counts. After completing the collection work, Chen Nuo returned to the wild boar. I tried to move it, but my strength was limited and I couldn't. Oh. It seems that we can only bring back a few pork legs to improve the food. Just as Chen Nuo was about to chop the pig's trotter, his ears suddenly moved and he vaguely heard someone talking, so he immediately ran to the bushes nearby and hid carefully. Several voices came from far away. Zhao Yan, are you sure you didn't lie to us? Is there really a level 5 Lord Beast here? How could I lie to you? Didn't you just hear the system prompt? This is the wild boar's territory. Generally, only Lord level territories are called territories. It seems to make sense. Brother Wei, what if the wild boar is more than level 5? Now that we are here, let's check out the situation first. Brother Wei, look. There's a dead pig over there. Obviously, this group of people were tricked by Zhao Yang to come and slaughter pigs. They found the corpse of a wild boar, and after checking its level, they found out it was a level 10 mutant wild boar. The middle-aged man named Brother Wei thought of something and prepared to turn around to deal with Zhao Yang. But Zhao Yang was faster. He pierced Wei Ji's heart from behind with a scimitar, revealing half of the bloody blade. Fuck. Zhao Yang, what are you doing? Damn it, this guy wants to harm us, kill him. Dare to kill Brother Wei, I will do it. Wei Ji's 3 accomplices were furious on the spot and were ready to attack with their weapons in hand. Zhao Yang was very calm. He kicked Wei Ji away, held up the bloody dagger, and shouted at the 3 people, our Wei is already dead. Are you sure you want to fight me for a dead man? Chapter 14 Strange Conditions. The 3 of them hesitated. Zhao Yan snorted coldly, and then said, you know better than me what kind of character this guy is. Why does he become the boss and why does he order us around? When surviving in the wilderness, a smart mind is more useful than strong limbs. You guys follow me from now on, I'll provide you with enough ingredients. I can't say you'll have a good meal, but you'll definitely be able to survive. The 3 of them looked at each other, and finally said nothing, and tacitly submitted to Zhao Yang. Zhao Yang added, brothers, it's not that I don't trust you, but this guy set the rules, and I hope you will abide by them for the last time. One of the 3 stepped out and said, all right. Actually, I've been annoyed with him for a long time. He deserved it for dying under his own rules. After saying that, the man stabbed the dying Brother Wei hard. The other 2 hesitated for a moment and then did the same. It took this group of people less than 3 minutes to change sides from rebellion to partnership with Sharkman. The dark side of human nature is fully exposed at this moment. The scene is shocking. Very good, now follow my command, I promise we can become bigger and stronger. Zhao Yang quickly took on the role of leader and assigned tasks to the 3 people. Second brother, immediately find a few rookies in the regional channel, send them the coordinates in private messages, and ask them to come and pick up the pork. Third brother, fourth brother, you will be responsible for keeping an eye on them. If they come with bad intentions, we will retreat immediately. Now cut off a few pig legs first, so that if something goes wrong later, we will not return empty-handed. The 3 of them did as they were told without further ado. As soon as they touched the wild boar's corpse, the 3 people's faces changed drastically. Oh no! The corpse is still warm and the blood hasn't dried yet. Zhao Yang was just about to collect the supplies from Brother Wei. When he heard this, he jumped up in fright. Damn it! Retreat! Retreat quickly! The four of them fled in panic, faster than rabbits. Because the corpse was still warm and the blood had not yet dried, it meant that the group of people who slaughtered the wild boar were still nearby. Being able to kill a level 10 mutant wild boar shows that this group of people is very powerful and they dare not provoke them. If they dare to touch this group's spoils, they will definitely suffer the consequences. However, the four of them could not guess that their group of people they imagined actually only consisted of Chen Nuo. Moreover, Chen Nuo had been hiding in the dark from beginning to end, and witnessed with his own eyes this infighting among his own kind. If it were in the past, Chen Nuo would have covered his mouth in fear and trepidation. But now Chen Nuo has become very indifferent after experiencing many life and death situations. Even subconsciously, he had guessed that similar cruel scenes happened every day in the wilderness. However, seeing this scene with his own eyes still made him feel complicated. His face was strangely indifferent. After the four men had run completely far away, Chen Nuo came out, chopped off four wild boar legs with a battle axe, tied them up with vines, carried them on his back and left. From beginning to end, he deliberately avoided visiting Brother Wei, and had no intention of collecting any relics. Just collect your own spoils and get away from here. Only. My good mood for the whole day is ruined. Even checking out his super rich haul didn't make him feel better. Chen Nuo made a lot of money on this afternoon trip. Skill, brutal charge, 1 green. Effect, greatly increase strength and speed in a short period of time, an impact in one direction, but it will consume corresponding physical strength. Ironwood 353 green. Stone 2150 green. Stamina fruit 59 white. Energy fruit 30 white. Life fruit 42 white. Survival coin 9000. With the survival coins, Chen Nuo opened the supply mall to select supplies. First I bought an iron pot, and then I used the remaining survival coins to purchase paper towels, bottled water, and various kitchen condiments. 9,000 survival coins were squandered in an instant. Even though everything he bought were cheap, it was still considered extremely luxurious in the wilderness. Dusk is approaching. Chen Nuo picked up some hay nearby and put it into their house. Then take out the extra wood, use it as firewood, and start making dinner, stewed wild boar's trotters. When the air gradually cooled down in the evening, Chen Nuo just finished stewing the pig's trotters. With seasoning, the food you cook tastes great. He deliberately left the door open, enjoying the pleasure of eating hot food in the cold wind, and missed the hot pot in winter very much. Chen Nuo thought that he had to get some edible wild vegetables back, otherwise eating meat every meal would be too greasy. Moreover, the combination of vegetables and meat can better supplement the health of the body. While eating meat comfortably, Chen Nuo opened the area chat as usual and dived to learn experience. Regional channels. Does the coordinates you sent really have wild boar meat? Yeah, we killed several wild boars today, we couldn't even move them all. Boss, are you still short of people in your team? I'm a chef and I can cook for you. Hello, chef. I'll add you as my friend. Let's chat privately. The day after I miss Brother Nuo, as long as Brother Nuo ignores me, I will check in every day. Brother Nuo is mine, draw your swords, sisters. A bunch of lickspittles, will you ever stop? Didn't that incident this morning wake you up? The guy above is obviously jealous. A loser like you doesn't deserve a companion, you know that. Although that bitch Louis is a big profiteer, she never cheats people. If Boss Chen Nuo is really an unforgivable person, how could he sell stones at such a low price? Yes, such a large amount of stone is enough for many people to upgrade their shelters. He is willing to sell it at a low price, which means he is definitely not a bad person. Too small, too small. How can there be absolute good and evil in the world? Even if Boss Chen Nuo's supplies were looted, as long as he sells them at a low price, it is robbing the rich to help the poor. There are no storms tonight and the regional channels are harmonious. The most discussed person is still Chen Nuo. Because Chen Nuo is now the top figure on the manufacturing list and hunting list. In addition, his name is also in the top 100 of the bounty list and popularity list. Even many anchors who take the risk of broadcasting live are not as popular as he who likes to lurk. At the same time, he is also recognized as the richest man on the island. Naturally, many people wanted to get close to him. What's the point of being his licker? As long as Chen Nuo sends some supplies, They will not lack materials and equipment, which will greatly improve their survival guarantee. Humph, there are so many people who want to harm me by offering a bounty. Chen Nuo rarely pays attention to rankings. When I clicked on it, I realized that I had become a celebrity on the list. The top 100 on each list based on settlement at 12 a.m. every Sunday will receive weekly tasks issued by the system. The weekly tasks are relatively simple and the supplies are abundant, so it can be considered a free reward. Therefore, every Sunday, survivors who hope to make the list will work hard and strive to be eligible for weekly benefits. And today is their weekend. Therefore, Chen Nuo's current ranking has strongly stimulated many people who are eager for it but cannot get it. They didn't know that the object of their envy and jealousy just wanted to eat some light green leaves at the moment and didn't want anything else. As for the calculation rules for each list, Chen Nuo was too lazy to even click to take a look. At this time, Louis sent a message. Boss, this week's rankings will be calculated in a few hours. Do you need my help to get on the list? Need not. Chen Nuo decisively refused. Now when chatting with Louis, he habitually thinks about benefits. After all, a survivor like Louis who survives purely by doing business is somewhat profit-driven. She must have other purposes if she takes the initiative to help him. Louis, you are currently ranked 59th on the popularity list. If you can get into the top 50, the tasks you receive will be upgraded to a higher level. Are you really not going to consider it? Chen Nuo changed the subject. Have you found the 4 green materials? There is still one item missing, so I want to use helping you to get on the list as a replacement for a green material. Is that okay with you? Oh, then I have to add a condition. When Louis heard that Chen Nuo had additional conditions, she instantly perked up. You know, the boss's additional conditions are not so easy to achieve. So she said very seriously, please tell me, as long as it is within my ability and reasonable range, I will definitely do it. I want food, and I want it now. Vegetable. Louis was confused. What kind of supplies are those? Do you have any vegetables to eat? Any vegetables will do, carrots, potatoes, etc. It's best if they are leafy vegetables with good taste. I will use them to cook the pig's trotters. Louis was stunned. Are you serious? Chapter 15 Sunset Bow. This is the most ridiculous and infuriating business Louis has ever done. I originally thought that the other party would ask for a huge amount of precious ingredients, but who knew that the other party's additional request was actually vegetables? Please. This is a dangerous desert island. Everyone is risking their lives to fight for food. It's good enough to have something to eat. Chen Nuo actually thought that eating meat every day was too greasy and wanted to have some vegetables to improve his diet and add nutrition. Although this is reasonable, no matter what Louis thinks, she feels that Chen Nuo's request is too much. Are there any requirements for the types of green vegetables? Yes. Delicious. Louis couldn't continue the conversation. Okay, I'll go find it right away. There are many edible wild vegetables on the deserted island, but most people don't have pots, so they can't cook or stir-fry. Louis quickly used a few pieces of wood to purchase several kinds of wild vegetables and initiated a transaction with Chen Nuo. You used 4,200 stones to buy 1 wild bull tendon, 1 treasure map fragment, 1 pine oil, and 40 wild vegetables from Louis. After receiving the prompt, Chen Nuo was the first to check the warehouse. Then he took the iron pot outside to the earthen stove to heat it up, and then ran to the stream to wash the wild vegetables. Boss, which list do you want to rush to? Casual. You really won't consider it again. Louis explained, to impact the bounty list, the rewards are related to survival coins. To impact the popularity list, the rewards are related to attribute titles. After hearing what she said, Chen Nuo became interested. Adults don't make choices, he wants them all. How about charging for both rankings at the same time? You have to pay more. Louis said decisively, give me another 100 stones and I'll help you get it. Chen Nuo traded it to her without saying a word. Okay. Louis has a group of reliable partners and is very efficient. In less than 10 minutes, the regional channel was full of topics about Chen Nuo, which would affect the ranking of the popularity list. There are also several more bounty notices on the bounty list. Kill Chen Nuo and get 50 stones as reward. Kill Chen Nuo and get 10 iron ore as reward. Kill Chen Nuo and get Tiemu 1 as reward. Kill Chen Nuo and be rewarded with 300 canes. These bounty notices directly sent Chen Nuo to the 9th place on their bounty list. This gave Louis' trolls a new topic. 666. How many people have you offended, boss? You still say Chen Nuo is not a bad person, look how much he is hated. Humph, these bastards who issued the bounty are probably jealous of our brother Nuo. Brother Nuo, I've memoized their names for you. As long as you give the order, I'll go and kill them. A bunch of fools. Even without the bounty, there would be plenty of people looking for trouble with boss Chen Nuo. That's right. As long as we have the ability to kill brother Nuo, who cares about these supplies? Chen Nuo looked at the conversation calmly. Once the topic became heated, he couldn't tell which ones were the internet trolls. I can't help but admire Louis and her group. They can make a fortune simply by controlling public opinion. All I can say is that no matter what the circumstances, wisdom is always the most important thing. Chen Nuo shook his head, cleared his mind, went back to the pot, put in the washed wild vegetables, covered the pot and waited for a while, and it was cooked. When you open the lid of the pot, the fresh fragrance of wild vegetables wafts into your nose. He picked up the iron pot and went back into their house to continue enjoying his delicious food. While checking the materials Louis had just given him. Bison tendon 1 green. Description, very tough and elastic material. Treasure map fragment 1 green. Introduction, combine 3 fragments to get a complete treasure map. Pine oil 1 green. Introduction, it is more flame resistant than ordinary pine oil. Humph, this Louis is such a cunning bastard. Chen Nuo smiled coldly. He guessed that Louis was not without green materials, but did not want to give him the good stuff. She was deliberately playing word games and using 3 pieces of rubbish to fool him. But it doesn't matter, after all it is green material and it will always be useful. Of these 3 items, the treasure map seems to be the most valuable, and pine oil the most practical. But Chen Nuo didn't need these 2 things for the time being, so he set his sights on the beef tendon. The quality of green products is beyond doubt. If we can make good use of the toughness of this tendon and use it to make weapons or daily necessities, it will be of great use. This piece of beef tendon is nearly 2 meters long. Chen Nuo was the first to think of using it to create a trap. For example, tie it between 2 trees to attract prey and use it to trip the prey. Ha! Thinking of prey, Chen Nuo's mind automatically emerged with the wild boar he had just encountered. Looking back on the entire struggle, he couldn't help but recall his most desired thoughts at the time. It would be great if I had a long-range weapon. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo suddenly felt enlightened. He quickly filled his stomach and covered the iron pot. He couldn't wait to take out a piece of ironwood and try to chop it into a stick with an axe. The ironwood was extremely hard and it took several chops with the sharpness of the fearless battle axe to barely make a cut in it. But the harder the better. Chen Nuo continued to chop patiently, and it took him a full half-hour to completely split the piece of ironwood vertically into 2. Then he chose a small one and used the white feather dagger to grind the edge of the ironwood stick as smooth and round as possible. An hour passed. Chen Nuo was sweating profusely. But his face was filled with an excited smile. Next, he took great pains to bend the ironwood stick into a semicircle and tied beef tendons at both ends to fix the shape. A bow and arrow half a person's height was made. Tentatively plucked the bowstring. Ding! Powerful sound with a buzzing echo. Nice bow. Chen Nuo roughly estimated that with the current quality of this bow and arrow, it was at least comparable to a green quality weapon. And it is still just a semi-finished product. Finally, the most critical step. He placed the bow and arrow on the universal crafting table. Tip: manufacturing success rate is 60%. Damn. A finished bow, but the success rate is so low. Chen Nuo couldn't help but curse. Then take out a wind rune and put it on. Tip: manufacturing success rate is 65%. Is this thing made of such useless materials? Gritting his teeth, he placed all the remaining wind runes on it. Force the success rate to be maximized. Tip: the manufacturing success rate is 100%. Manufacture. Chen Nuo stared at the manufacturing table with great anticipation. The black and light blue lights interact with each other and slowly merge into one. The whole process lasted for a full 3 minutes before Chen Nuo heard a reminder in his ear. Manufacturing success. Obtain Sunset Bow 1 blue. Sunset Bow. Level, 15. Quality, blue upgradable. Attack, 40-120. Penetration, 50 ignores defense. Rend, 35 continuous damage. Rune, wind. Skill, storm arrow rain. Durability, 1500. Introduction, using the wind as an arrow, the speed and accuracy are extremely high. Upgrade conditions, Redwood 1, Bull Tendon 1, Wind Rune 10, Purple Rune 1, Bow and Arrow Manufacturing Diagram 1. Looking at the abnormal properties of the sunset bow, Chen Nuo was ecstatic. At this moment, he felt that all his efforts were worth it. Chapter 16 Storm of Arrows. At the same time, all survivors received a notice. System Announcement Region, congratulations to Chen Nuo for creating the first blue-grade equipment in this region sunset bow. Boom! The survivors scattered in every corner of the deserted island were all excited. Blue quality equipment. It's this Chen Nuo again. Boss, are you trying to piss us off to death? You are worthy of being my brother Nuo. If you don't make a name for yourself, you will be amazing when you do. You all should learn from him. Look at Boss Chen Nuo. He is usually very low-key. You guys are not like that. You can't wait to tell the whole world when you get a good item. Stupid Chen Nuo, what good is it to have blue-grade equipment? You are still trapped on a deserted island and can't get out. Some people became jealous and resentful and started to curse Chen Nuo. But such people were immediately bombarded by Chen Nuo's army of lickspittles. There were even a few female survivors who threatened to team up to kill that guy. At the same time, Louis made a lot of money today and brought huge benefits to the team. Using the large amount of stone provided by Chen Nuo, almost everyone in the team upgraded the shelter to level 5. The newly renovated stone houses built together look like rough brick houses of modern civilization, finally losing some of the wilderness flavor. Everyone was having a celebration party around the bonfire. The leader Louis is even more supported by everyone. However, this system announcement surprised everyone. Everyone looked at Louis strangely. Because they all thought that the material Chen Nuo used to make the bow and arrow was most likely the useless beef tendon that Louis mentioned. Even Louis's mood suddenly became depressed. I thought it was a great deal, but unexpectedly, it was a bargain for Chen Nuo. But how did Chen Nuo do it? We have tried to make bows and arrows with beef tendons, but all we produced were white. Yes, why is Chen Nuo a blue product? He must have other advanced materials. Well, do you still not trust Sister E's vision? Beef tendons are really useless. It's definitely a great deal to be able to exchange them for 1,000 stones. Yes, Sister E, don't take it to heart. That being said, Louise still felt like she had suffered a huge loss. If she had known that beef tendon would be so useful to Chen Nuo, she should have asked for more ingredients. It's too late to say anything now. Tonight is destined to be a night of jealousy. Many people are jealous of Chen Nuo's magical sunset bow. And at this moment, Chen Nuo, the owner of the sunset bow, was practicing martial arts outside the shelter under the bright moonlight. Yes, he urgently needs to practice. Now that he is well equipped, he must improve his physical fitness as much as possible to make the best use of these equipment. For example, this sunset bow has an attack power of 40-120, and its specific effectiveness when used depends on his arm strength. With his current arm strength, it would be good if he could shoot out 50 points of attack power. There is also a new skill, Savage Charge, which also tests the caster's physical fitness and reaction ability. Therefore, Chen Nuo decided to spend at least 1 hour every day exercising. You must have a strong enough physique and quick reaction speed to maximize the effectiveness of your full body equipment. Under the moonlight, beside the stream, Chen Nuo held the axe in both hands and aimed his eyes at a tree. The technique of brutal charge automatically emerged in my mind, and I rushed towards the tree with great force. Crack! With the help of the inertia of the high-speed sprint, the fearless axe split a deep gash in the tree trunk, and most of the axe body was stuck in the tree. It took him a lot of effort to pull it out. This level of power was something he had never dared to dream of before. If he had mastered the skill of brutal charge before, he would have dared to face the wild boar head-on. Don't forget, Chen Nuo's armor and boots both have the speed bonus of the wind rune. Combined with this brutal charge, the speed is comparable to flash, and the inertial force is stronger than that of a wild boar. But this move consumes a lot of physical strength. Chen Nuo was exhausted after only 3 attempts. He took a stamina fruit, replenished his stamina, and continued training. Only after he had roughly mastered the skill and got used to this speed-based impact combat method did he put down his axe and practice archery. Chen Nuo has now completely recovered from the joy of obtaining blue-grade equipment. It seems that this sunset bow is not as practical as an axe in jungle survival. Because the jungle on this deserted island is overgrown and the vision is obstructed, usually when a wild beast is spotted, close combat will occur in the next second. Therefore, it is difficult to use bows and arrows. However, you can actively create conditions for shooting. For example, choose to fight in a place with a wide field of vision, or stay in a high place to ambush and hunt. As long as conditions permit, this sunset bow can almost be called a perfect weapon. Then, Chen Nuo's plan was to use daily brutal charging training to cut down all the trees near the shelter and create an open area. From now on, whether he is facing an invasion by a tide of beasts or a sneak attack by his own kind, he will have enough time to react and opportunities to counterattack. After the brutal collision training just now, the dozen trees around him were all cut down, leaving only some wooden stumps. Chen Nuo picked up the sunset bow, returned to the shelter on the higher ground, aimed at one of the wooden stakes, and pulled the bowstring hard. As the bowstring was pulled, an arrow formed by wind force automatically condensed in front of Chen Nuo's eyes. The more the bowstring is pulled, the more solid the wind-powered arrow will be. Chen Nuo put in all his effort and barely managed to create a clear arc. Release the bowstring. Call out. A sound of breaking wind went away. In the blink of an eye, a clear gap appeared on the wooden stake he was aiming at. Chen Nuo was very clear about his own strength. Not to mention his accuracy, with just this weak force, even if he was given an iron arrow, he would not be able to damage the wooden stake. The sunset bow seems to have an automatic calibration function, which allows the arrows condensed from wind force to exert a power far exceeding that of iron arrowheads. Nice bow. Chen Nuo couldn't help but feel secretly happy. Try your skills again. Then, he adjusted his posture and used his mind and skills to trigger the skills of the sunset bow. Call out. Another arrow shot. The arrow did no damage to the stake. But after a delay of 0.5 seconds, a small tornado suddenly blew up at the wooden stake. Dense swarms of wind blade arrows fell from above. Whoosh 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 whoosh. A visible rain of arrows ravaged the wooden stakes and plants within range. 3 seconds later, the rain of arrows disappeared. The bark on the wooden stakes was cut off, revealing a bare grayish-white surface. The wild grass and vines growing wildly around were cut into countless pieces by the wind blade. That area was razed to the ground. It's like a bald spot in a thick head of hair. Oh, 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 oh. Har har har. Chen Nuo laughed excitedly. Then he couldn't wait to aim at another tree stump, pull the bowstring, and use his skills. Storm of arrows. Whoosh 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 whoosh. This time the tornado and rain of arrows covered a larger area and lasted 1 second longer. This is a good trick for weeding. Chen Nuo continued to use the storm arrow rain skill, clearing the grass while practicing. After half an hour of training, almost all the weeds within his sight were removed. Through constant practice, he gradually mastered the trick. Now, every time you activate this skill, the range of the storm arrow rain will be approximately 5 meters in diameter and will last for 5 seconds. The main thing is that the activation of skills has nothing to do with arm strength, but consumes spirit. If it was just used for weeding, Chen Nuo could have used it a few more times. However, Chen Nuo was tired. Now he wants to have a big one, then call it a day and go to sleep. He pulled the bowstring with all his strength, creating a large arc, combining strength and skills, and concentrating entirely on performing the skills. Call out. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 100 meters away, the sound of a tornado was like the roar of a ferocious beast. The sound of the rain of arrows cutting through the plants was like a machine, sharp and unparalleled. The range was 10 meters in diameter and lasted for nearly 10 seconds. The 2 big trees within the coverage of the rain of arrows were shot with holes and collapsed with a loud bang. Fuck. This group attack is invincible. Faintly, Chen Nuo seemed to hear the growl of a wild beast. But he thought it was the aftermath of a tornado, so without thinking much about it, he dragged his tired body back to their house to sleep. Phew. So tired. After we clean up tomorrow, we can upgrade the shelter. Thinking of this, he fell asleep with a smile on his face. Chapter 17 Live Debut. A new day. When Chen Nuo woke up, he felt sore all over, as if he had been beaten. But this is a good thing, which means that his physique is getting stronger day by day. He heated up the pig's trotter from last night and ate it. After eating and drinking, I started a new day's survival plan. Prepare some firewood first. He ran to the clearing he had done the night before, and arranged the plants into piles, laying them out in the sun to dry. Then check for system prompts that you ignored last night after falling asleep. Congratulations, you have triggered the weekly task of the manufacturing list. Congratulations, you have triggered the hunting list weekly task. Congratulations, you have triggered the popularity list weekly task. Congratulations, you have triggered the weekly task of the bounty list. Today is Monday. Each of the top 100 players on the list has triggered a related task. The content of the task and the rewards depend on the ranking, and it is basically not that difficult, which is equivalent to free benefits. The tasks triggered by Chen Nuo are: Manufacturing task, this week, use any piece of green equipment for manufacturing. Reward, fur coat 1. Hunting mission, hunt a mutant beast above level 5 within this week. Reward, multifunctional hunting knife 1. Popularity task, live broadcast time reaches 1 hour within this week. Reward, anchor title 1. Bounty mission, survive for 3 days. Reward, survival coin 5,000. Is this the weekly benefit that Louis mentioned? Except for survival coins, other things don't seem to be of much use. Chen Nuo complained. However, don't refuse the supplies sent by the system. He would do these things even if there were no weekly tasks. After checking the tasks, Chen Nuo re-examined the new environment around the shelter. Upgrade the shelter first. He turned his head and locked his eyes on the hut. Select, upgrade. Consume wood 50. Consume rattan 80. Consumable animal tooth nails 30. Shelter upgraded successfully. After a burst of white light, a brand new wooden house appeared before our eyes. Wooden house. Level 3. Quality, white. Defense, 100. Durability, 500. Introduction, the solid house structure can effectively resist attacks from small wild animals. Upgrade conditions, wood 100, animal tooth nails 100, stone 50. Chen Nuo frowned and looked at the new house. Not very satisfied. Seeing that the upgrade materials are so cheap, I just went ahead and upgraded. Anyway, I am well equipped now and am not afraid of the beast-tide attack at all. Consume wood 100. Consume animal tooth nails 100. Consume stone 50. Upgrade successful. There was another flash of white light. Wooden house. Level 4. Quality, white. Defense, 150. Durability, 800. Introduction, the outer stone makes the wooden house extremely strong. Upgrade conditions, wood 300, stone 500. Tip, if the current material is insufficient, similar advanced materials can be used instead. A prompt automatically popped up in front of Chen Nuo. Shown as, ironwood can be wood. It turns out that high-grade materials can be used. Why didn't you say so earlier? Really? Chen Nuo was wealthy and simply replaced both materials. Wood, replaced with green ironwood. Stone, replaced with green essence stone. Then select, upgrade. During this upgrade, a green light surrounded the wooden house and lasted for a long time. It was probably a few minutes later. A huge, brand new stone house appeared in front of Chen Nuo. I'll go. As the small wooden house turned into a huge stone house and the area it occupied increased, Chen Nuo's nose almost hit the wall. He took a few steps back without warning, a look of surprise on his face. Stone house. Level 5. Quality, green. Defense, 500. Durability, 2000. Introduction, this is a stone house with a small commercial housing structure. The foundation is solid and can be expanded freely. Upgrade conditions, ironwood 2000, essence stone 3000. Commercial housing. Chen Nuo couldn't wait to push open the iron and wooden door in front of him. As soon as I entered the house, I was amazed. The floor is as flat as tiles, and the apartment is square in shape, divided into 2 bedrooms and a living room, with a kitchen and bathroom, and is neatly planned. Just empty, no tools. The original simple wooden bed was also changed into one with iron and wood structure. As long as it is covered with a soft quilt, the quality is absolutely comparable to a luxury bed worth tens of thousands of yuan. Chen Nuo couldn't help but lie down on it to try it out. No matter how he rolled over and over, the bed was very stable and didn't shake at all. This condition is much better than the doghouse I rented. I didn't expect that my first house in my life would be in the wilderness. Chen Nuo couldn't help but sigh. Due to severe shortage of materials, the shelter can only remain at level 5. He lay on his luxurious new bed and checked the densely packed tasks. Every time the shelter is upgraded by one level, 2 basic tasks can be triggered. He reached level 5, accumulated 6 basic tasks, and fought 3 waves of beast attacks. At the same time, the weekly manufacturing tasks were also completed. The reward, for Coat 1, was automatically stored in the warehouse. Now, Chen Nuo is not in a hurry to hunt. When you have a new house, of course you should decorate it first. He took off his armor, put it in the warehouse, and put on the fur coat. After all, the brand new shelter has an ultra-high defense of 500 points, which gives you a full sense of security. Even if he played loud music and danced in the house late at night, the wild animals nearby could only stare at him from outside and had no way to do anything to him. The fur coat fits well and is just the right temperature if you don't wear anything underneath. If he were given sunglasses, a cigar and a gold necklace, he would be the most handsome guy in the entire wilderness world. At this moment, even someone as low-key as him really wants to share his happiness with others. Yes. Everyone has laziness and vanity. Chen Nuo is no exception. Now he finally doesn't have to worry about survival anymore. There is enough food and fresh water, enough for him to live comfortably for several days. So why is he in a hurry to go out and fight? That's not preparing for a rainy day, that's seeking death. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo clicked on Live Show and started his first live show. Just treat it as a popularity mission. Monday is live broadcast day. Because last week's top anchors all wanted to complete the popularity tasks as quickly as possible, get the rewards, and increase their survival security. Therefore, many survivors choose to stay in the shelter and watch the live broadcast. To put it nicely, it is a more intuitive experience in learning survival. To put it bluntly, they all feel happy about other people's misfortune and want to see the hosts get into trouble. You know, starting a live broadcast will attract some tough guys in the wilderness. They seem to be set by the system. They are rarely seen under normal circumstances, but when a survivor starts a live broadcast, there is a high probability that they will come to support and add to the fun. Therefore, the anchors tacitly agreed to start live broadcasts on the same day in order to share the risks with each other. As a result, Chen Nuo happened to have the urge to start a live broadcast today, and all the ordinary survivors ran to Chen Nuo's live broadcast room. This made the anchors extremely depressed, and they complained wildly on the regional channel in frustration. Brother Nuo, you are going too far. Why did you open it at this time instead of earlier or later? Woo, Brother Nuo, please continue the live broadcast later, I still have half an hour to complete the task. I am so unlucky. There are only 3 minutes left until the hour, but everyone has left. The popularity is too low, so the live broadcast is automatically closed. Boss Chen Nuo, please be a human being. What are you yelling about here? Go to his live stream and start yelling. Get lost. Brother Nuo has more than 4,000 fans in his live stream. Go and curse one of them. Chapter 18 live broadcast turns into Versailles in seconds. Ahem. Chen Nuo coughed twice. He is not a particularly outgoing person and is not very adaptable to the attention of the audience in the live broadcast room. There are 2 live viewing angles. One is the first person. One is the third person. Chen Nuo chose the first-person perspective. Others cannot see his face, and the camera image is synchronized with his line of sight in real time. Adjusting his mindset, Chen Nuo tried his best to overcome his personality barriers and interact with everyone. I know that if I start live streaming at this time, many people will hate me. Yeah, that's right, I just like the way you guys are upset with me but can't get rid of me. A clumsy joke made more than 4,000 audience members laugh. Received fan gift, wood 10. Received a fan gift, stone 1. Received a fan gift, 5 wild vegetables. Trigger 10 times reward. Get wild vegetables 50. Received gifts from fans. From the start of the live broadcast to now, there has been a constant stream of reminders from fans to send gifts. Chen Nuo naturally accepted them all with a smile. What's more, live broadcast rewards can also trigger 10 times the reward, which is very nice. But he knew very well that there was no free lunch in the world. Even if there is, the free ones are always more expensive than the paid ones. So Chen Nuo said it out loud, "Everyone, I understand what you are thinking, but I just want to be a lone wolf, so that I can eat well and the whole family will not be hungry. So don't come to me for things like forming a team." However, in order to thank everyone for their kindness, I decided to share my personal survival experience with everyone. Everyone was disappointed to hear that Chen Nuo was determined to be a lone wolf. But when they learned that Chen Nuo was willing to selflessly share his survival experience, everyone instantly perked up, fearing that they would miss out on valuable experience. However, Chen Nuo really had no experience in live streaming, so he could only rely on the words he learned from watching TikTok videos to officially start this experience sharing live broadcast. He briefly recounted his experiences since he arrived on the deserted island. It's just storytelling to kill time. Of course, he concealed his tenfold reward talent. When it comes to supplies, just mention it briefly. For example, there is a mountain next to me. I followed everyone's collection method and symbolically knocked a few times, and I collected more than 4,000 stones. Another example is this. I went out hunting yesterday and saw an ironwood tree. I chopped and chopped until I got some ironwood. Oh, ironwood is the main material for making the sunset bow. For example. What? Treasure chests? Yes, there are. I went out hunting on the first day and killed a cobra. It was said to be a bronze guardian. There was a treasure chest not far away. There was nothing good in the chest, just some green stuff. Chen Nuo's calm tone made his fans want to hit him. Just a few knocks and you'll get 4,000 stones. When you are hunting, you come across a tree, which is the green material, and you can make a peerless bow. The worst thing is the treasure chest. Just chop a cobra and you'll get a treasure chest. You know, treasure chests are generally recognized to be rare, and rarity means preciousness. Even if the survivors find a treasure chest, what they get depends on luck. There may be rare treasures inside, or it may be a deadly trap. Listen to what Chen Nuo said, it's just some green stuff. Green product. Some. This means that rare green items were revealed, and not just one. Damn it. Everyone wants to beat this old Versailles to death. At this point, many people feel that they are not here to learn survival experience, but to listen to Chen Nuo's Versailles speech. He was obviously furious, but he couldn't afford to offend Chen Nuo, so he could only put on a perfunctory smile. Boss's luck. It's really bad luck. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir. Brother Nuo, what level is your shelter? Why does it look so luxurious? Chen Nuo answered honestly, it's a level 5 stone house, which was just upgraded. It's not luxurious at all, and it's still lacking a lot of furniture. Following Chen Nuo's line of sight, everyone realized the size of this shelter. Lots of space. The apartment is square. Very flat. There are even cooking utensils and seasonings. Many people look at their own small and simple stone houses, and then look at Chen Nuo's mansion. Suddenly, they feel that their stone houses are like dog houses, and suddenly they are not so attractive. Brother Nuo, stop joking. Yeah, if this were a level 5 stone house, we would call you daddy. It's really level 5. Dad. Dad. Father. Chen Nuo. Oh my god. Are these guys so shameless just to curry favor with others? Damn it, I really admire you guys. You are willing to sacrifice your dignity just to survive. Dad, ignore these bullshitters and please accept all my stones. Received a fan gift, stone 190. Dad. Can I give you 5 times the supplies and build a cabin next to you? Please. Received gifts from fans, animal tooth nails 150, stone 200. Trigger 10 times reward. Get animal tooth nails 1500. Obtain stone 2000. Depend on. These guys are serious. You know, these supplies are a huge fortune for ordinary survivors. They actually used it to claim kinship. Chen Nuo was anxious and solemnly emphasized, I reiterate again, I don't need a companion, I will never consider it. Fan, I'm not your companion, I'm your well-behaved daughter. Fan, and a partner. Brother Nuo, I check in for you every day, are you really indifferent? Fan, Brother Nuo, as long as you agree to be with me, I don't mind you having other women. Fan, hubby, I gave you all my dowry, can you bear to let me sleep in the wilderness? At this moment, Chen Nuo finally experienced the pain of rich people. He clearly didn't do anything, so why are these fans, these women, clinging to him mindlessly? That's too much. Chen Nuo deliberately ignored these comments. He revealed the real purpose of his live broadcast. Is there an interior designer on the island? I want to buy an interior design drawing for a large sum of money. Also, if you have woodworking craftsmen, you can also chat with me privately. I will give you the workmanship you are satisfied with. I will start live streaming from time to time in the future, but there are few rules. 1. No random relatives. 2. No spreading of negative energy. 3. Only sharing survival experiences. For those who flatter and curry favor with others, I would like to give you one final piece of advice: you can only rely on yourself to survive on a deserted island. Chen Nuo had said so much, so naturally no one would bother to do anything else, at least not now. Boss, I'm a designer. Me too, a veteran expert with 20 years of experience. Choose me, choose me. I have designed villas for many people. Can I be an intern designer? I haven't graduated yet. Since they can't just flatter people, many people change their strategies and start trying to please them. All of a sudden, dozens of interior designers appeared in the live broadcast room. There are only more than 5,000 people on the deserted island, but there are so many interior designers. Chen Nuo and the others are damn good. In the end, he chose the intern designer. The reason is simple. This girl named Li Shi hardly ever spoke in the live broadcast room, never gave any gifts, and certainly never exaggerated to brag about herself. This makes her more credible. Chapter 19: Ancillary Buildings. Chen Nuo took the initiative to add Li Shi as a friend and went straight to the point. What supplies are you short of now? Li Shi quickly made a list of materials. Mainly food, fresh water, wood, vines, animal teeth and nails, etc. Based on these supplies, Chen Nuo guessed that the other party only had a level 2 shelter. He said cheerfully, I can give you all the materials you need, but I can only pay half of the deposit first. When you draw a satisfactory drawing, I will pay you the full balance. Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. Li Shi didn't expect a deposit at first. After all, Chen Nuo was so rich that he would definitely not steal a single blueprint from her. Boss, can you give me the detailed dimensions? I can't provide the exact size, I'll give you a rough estimate later. Okay, if nothing goes wrong, the map will be ready before 8 p.m. You're a designer, you know a little more. When the time comes, you can help me check the furniture and other things. I will give you extra materials as commission. Really? Li Shi said in surprise, thank you, brother Nuo. I will try my best. As a girl who has to survive on her own, it is a very lucky thing for me to be able to exchange my major for survival supplies. Li Shi is full of gratitude to Chen Nuo, his mentor. At this time, many skilled carpenters appeared in the live broadcast room. The number of people was also as high as more than a dozen. What is funny is that the names of these so-called carpenters are very familiar, and many of them are clearly the same designers. Chen Nuo was too lazy to deal with these scammers. Everyone, bring your craftsmanship here, make a decent piece of furniture, take a picture of it and show it to me, and then I'll decide whether to hire you. Don't worry, as long as you're a real carpenter, I'll take anything you make. After all, Chen Nuo just has a lot of money, but he is not stupid. He would not give away supplies for nothing. That's not generosity, that's foolish kindness. Brother Nuo, do you still need a nanny? I can endure hardships, Brother Nuo, please consider me. Brother Nuo, I am a chef. Please hire me. Just give me something to eat. Chen Nuo refused bluntly, sorry, I don't need it for now. After saying that, the camera went outside. There is a flat open space with a stream, grass piles, and birds singing and flowers blooming all around. For the survivors, such an environment is like a paradise, and it feels like a manor. But in this beautiful environment, Chen Nuo's murderous voice suddenly came. This is my home. I know that many people are targeting me. Since I dare to do a live broadcast, I am not afraid of being found by you. Here, I want to say something to these people, cherish your life and don't bother me. After saying this, the live broadcast lasted exactly 1 hour. The system prompts sound in time. Complete the popularity task and get the exclusive title, Deserted Island Popularity King 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Obtain exclusive title, Deserted Island Popularity King 10. Exclusive title, Deserted Island Popularity King Temporary. Grade, White. Charisma, 10 increases beast kindness. Time limit, until midnight next Monday. Only 1 week of use. Is it synthetic? Can it be synthesized? Chen Nuo decisively chose synthesis. The 10 exclusive titles are automatically integrated in the backpack and turned into a small badge with a peculiar shape. Exclusive title, Desert Island Popularity King. Grade, Green. Charisma, 20 increases beast kindness. Introduction, wear it and even wild animals may become your loyal fans. TSK, is this true? Chen Nuo sneered. Could it be that with this charm, the wild beasts would show mercy to him? Never mind. It's okay to have too many special attributes. They will always come in handy. With this permanent, popular King of Deserted Island badge, Chen Nuo no longer bothered to deliberately increase his popularity. But the income from live broadcast rewards is really good. After this live broadcast, the various common supplies in his warehouse were greatly replenished. As for his behavior of coming outside and making harsh remarks when the live broadcast was turned off, he did it on purpose. Because through the live broadcast, he realized that his stone house was too luxurious and conspicuous, and could easily be discovered by other survivors. He is so rich, there is no guarantee that other survivors will not have bad intentions. After all, in the wild world, one's own kind also needs to be guarded against. Moreover, he will also do live broadcasts in the future, which will invisibly reveal more geographical location information. In short, it is only a matter of time before you are discovered by your own kind. Instead of passively defending, it is better to take the initiative to make things clear and challenge the other party openly. Tell them openly and proactively, come on, come and rob me, as long as you are not afraid of death, come on. This is not pretending to be tough. Instead, you should show your strength and confidence appropriately, and try to make people retreat when they encounter difficulties. Just like when a powerful beast encounters a small animal that it has no interest in, it bares its teeth and scares the other animal away. After the broadcast, Louis sent a message, Big Tycoon, do you have any materials you need? Chen Nuo glanced at the warehouse full of supplies, not yet. Louis asked in confusion, didn't your shelter just get upgraded to level 5? Yes. So you don't need to build an outbuilding. An X-building. Chen Nuo was puzzled. What was that thing? Oh, boss, you don't know yet, do you? What should I know? Okay, now please come outside and lock your eyes with your building, and you will understand. Chen Nuo was just outside the house and subconsciously turned back to look at the stone house. There is now an additional option for the stone house, expansion. Shelter level 5 is an important watershed, and survivors can expand other buildings. Yeah, I'm watching. Chen Nuo has already clicked on expansion. 3 unlocked buildings appear on the transparent panel in front of you, namely Wall, Arrow Tower, Sentry Post. I just watched the live broadcast. The open space outside is very large, so a lot of materials will be needed for construction. So, does the boss need any materials? Hold on. Chen Nuo was a little uncertain. Louis was right. The larger the scope of the planned territory, the more materials were needed. The length of the wall, the level of the arrow tower and the sentry post all require a lot of materials. The materials he currently has may not be enough. But Louis cheated him last night, and he also has a temper, okay. Okay, if you want to do business with me, I'll satisfy you. Thanks for the reminder. I am currently lacking some materials. Louis was delighted, yes, please tell me, I will collect it right away. Chen Nuo gave a list, Redwood 1, Barbarian Bull Tendon 1, Wind Rune 10, Purple Rune 1, Bow and Arrow Manufacturing Diagram 1. Well, that's all for now. As long as you have it, I'd exchange it for any amount. Well. Louis had never heard of any of them, and said dissatisfiedly, Boss, these things you want should be high-level materials for upgrading the sunset bow. Don't worry about it, these are all I need. But don't you lack low-level materials? The auxiliary buildings require a lot of materials. Don't worry about it. There was a sense of inhumanity in Chen Nuo's words, which made Louis feel a little uneasy. You have to know that Chen Nuo is now a recognized super boss. As long as he is willing to stand up and wave the flag, most of the survivors are willing to serve him. It is very irrational to offend Chen Nuo. Louise suddenly repented she would never cheat Chen Nuo again, even if it was profitable. It was easy to lose her life. Okay, I'll try my best to collect these materials for you, and the price this time is absolutely fair. Okay. I have no shortage of supplies, but I like a fair price. Chen Nuo gave her a way out. After all, he didn't want to make the relationship too awkward, and he would need Louis' help to collect many rare materials in the future. After finishing the chat, Chen Nuo started the construction of the ancillary building. Luckily, I have the Tenfold reward talent, so I can easily handle low-level materials even if I stay in the shelter. Exercise. Gather. Ollie give. Chapter 20 Perfecting the Home. There's no rush for the wall. The stone house has 500 points of defense, which is very durable, so building a wall now is just icing on the cake. Sentry posts and arrow towers can be built first to increase detection and long-range output means. But where should it be built? Chen Nuo hesitated for a moment and set his sights on the top of the mountain. This short mountain is only a dozen meters high. He hasn't seen the scenery at the top of the mountain yet, so it's time to go up and explore. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo went up the mountain fully armed. Soon, a relatively flat grassland appeared in front of Chen Nuo. Oh my god, this place is so flat. He couldn't help but feel a little regretful. He should have built the shelter there earlier. There is a small lake here, and the lake water overflowed from the gap, forming the stream that Chen Nuo saw. This lake is full of running water and is very popular with jungle creatures. As more and more wild animals come here to drink water, relatively sparse grassland is formed around it. When Chen Nuo arrived, a group of little guys were playing by the lake. Perhaps it was the effect of the charm attribute, or the slowness of these little guys, but when they spotted Chen Nuo, they did not run away immediately. Instead, they stopped and tilted their heads to look at Chen Nuo, as if they were curious about what kind of new species he was. Chen Nuo suddenly had an idea and came up with a plan that would satisfy both parties. He walked quickly to the edge of the mountain top, looked down at his stone house, then turned around and glanced around, estimating the distance. Right here. After estimating the distance, Chen Nuo took a few steps back and chopped wildly at the big tree in front of him. Collection successful, obtain wood 8. Collection successful, obtain wood 9. Trigger 10 times reward. Get wood 90. After a series of collection prompts, the tree disappeared from sight and turned into wood materials in the warehouse. Chen Nuo leveled the surrounding area into an open space. Then look down at the stone house and select Expansion, Sentry. Consume wood 100. Consume rattan 50. Construction successful. Sentry. Level 1. Grade White. Defense 10. Durability 50-50. Range 50 meters. Introduction: it can effectively detect intruders within the range and sound an alarm. Consumption: light energy. Upgrade conditions: wood 200, rattan 100. Nice one. Chen Nuo was delighted and didn't rush to upgrade. Instead, he cleared another tree about 10 meters away on the left. Collection successful, obtain wood 10. Trigger 10 times reward. Get wood 100. Collection successful. Collection successful. Trigger 10 times. Another series of prompts. After the big tree disappeared, Chen Nuo flattened the surrounding area as usual. Select, build, arrow tower. Arrow tower. Level 1. Grade White. Attack 10. Attack speed 1 arrow per second. Defense 10. Durability 50-50. Range 50 meters. Description: when an enemy unit enters the range, it will automatically shoot. Consumption: light energy, wood. Upgrade conditions: wood 200, rattan 100. Same range. Light energy should be solar energy. Arrow towers require wood. Thinking of this, Chen Nuo upgraded without any worries. Sentry upgraded successfully. The arrow tower has been upgraded successfully. Outpost upgrade. Arrow tower upgrade. Insufficient materials, unable to complete upgrade. No more materials. Chen Nuo was stunned. It seems that what Louis said was right. The ancillary buildings do consume a lot of materials. There was obviously a lot of wood and rattan in his warehouse, but they were all used up in less than a minute. But it doesn't matter, just collect it on the spot. There's nothing to be afraid of if there's a tenfold reward. Yohu! Chen Nuo couldn't help but cheer, and jumped down from the top of the mountain and landed on the top of the stone roof. With the elasticity of light combat boots, he can easily jump to a height of 3 or 4 meters without rolling around. Landing on the roof, Chen Nuo chose, build a stone house. Consume wood 300. Consume stone 500. Stamping successful. A soft white light bounced Chen Nuo away, causing him to fall to the ground with a thud. Oh my god! As he exclaimed, he looked up and saw that the stone house had become 2-story. The rooftop balcony connects to the flat land at the top of the mountain. I'm so stupid, really. If I had known earlier, I would have just added another floor. I wouldn't have to climb the hill and could have just taken the stairs. Chen Nuo chuckled and entered the stone house. There is a stone staircase in the corner of the living room, leading directly to the second floor. Coming to the second floor, the layout is exactly the same as the first floor. However, the white materials added on the roof are definitely not as comfortable as those on the first floor. Chen Nuo couldn't describe the difference, but he could feel that the second floor was obviously not as solid as the first floor, and the sound insulation was not at the same level. But since the foundation of the first floor was very good, no matter how bad the added second floor was, it was much better than the cramped stone houses of other survivors. What Chen Nuo is most satisfied with is the rooftop terrace. Standing on the rooftop and looking at the scenery, you can see the sea to the west and the lake and plain to the east. These are two completely different views. The sentry post and arrow tower a few meters away and the two buildings on the left and right are enough to ensure safety. Get materials. Continue upgrading. With the goal of perfecting his new home, Chen Nuo is full of energy. After a slight hesitation, he started the live broadcast again. Earlier, when Chen Nuo ended his first live broadcast, the survivors had their own thoughts. Some survivors were envious and jealous of him, some were angry and hateful of him, some admired him infinitely, and some had evil intentions towards him. When these evil-minded guys thought of Chen Nuo's domineering warning before the live broadcast, many of them were frightened and did not dare to provoke Chen Nuo for the time being. But there are still some desperate people who are obsessed with seeking wealth and fame at the risk of their lives. For example, Zhao Yang and his gang. Just a few days after Zhao Yang joined the team, he killed the team leader Wei Ji, who had kindly taken him in. Then he recruited Wei Ji's companions and became the captain himself. Last night they sneaked back to the wild boar territory and found that the wild boars for legs had been chopped off. They then boldly implemented their fishing plan. Use wild boar meat to attract a few hungry newcomers. Then they used force to persuade these newcomers to join them. From then on, Zhao Yang became the dragon-slaying boy, and he himself became the evil dragon, playing the role that Wei Ji once played. Zhao Yang's team now has a total of 11 people. After Zhao Yang robbed all the new recruits, he did not drive them away or kill them. Instead, he used his traditional tricks to brainwash the new recruits, asking them to follow him, grow bigger and stronger, and survive together. These 7 newcomers were almost starving to death, and Zhao Yang's team became their last straw. Therefore, even though they knew that Zhao Yang had no good intentions, they still surrendered in order to save their lives. This morning, Zhao Yang was planning to repeat his old trick and expand his team members, when he happened to see Chen Nuo starting a live broadcast. Boar! You are such a show-off. Sooner or later, your body will be found in the wilderness. If Chen Nuo, that idiot, hadn't made his fortune by robbing people, I would have taken his last name. What does this prove? If you want to survive on a deserted island, you have to be ruthless to survive. Zhao Yang's 3 younger brothers complained viciously. At this time, a timid girl next to him couldn't help but interrupt, "No, he is not a bad person." Several people looked at the girl in unison. The girl's eyes flickered, and she quickly lowered her head and shut up. Zhao Yang narrowed his eyes, walked towards the girl, and said with a sinister smile, "Girl, do you know him?" Chapter 21 Sharing Practical Tips. This girl is none other than the JK lowly girl Li Xiaoyu. But now Li Xiaoyu no longer looks pretty at all. Her face is covered with unknown black oil paint, her hair is shaved and messy, and she looks listless and decadent, just like a little beggar who is full of despair in life. But it's a good thing that she is in such a mess, otherwise Zhao Yang and others would definitely covet her beauty. As soon as she saw everyone's reactions, Li Xiaoyu immediately realized that she had said the wrong thing. After all, she was not really stupid, so she quickly said, I know him, his name is Chen Nuo. Fuck. With your looks, you want to curry favor with someone powerful. I'm really impressed by these women on this deserted island. They don't want to rely on themselves every day, but only want to rely on men to survive. Do they really think this is a civilized society? Brother Yang. Don't ask any more. There is no one on the island who doesn't know Chen Nuo. Ugly people like this are probably Chen Nuo's crazy fans. They spend all day thinking about exchanging supplies by spreading their legs, and they don't even take a piss and look in the mirror to see what they look like. Zhao Yang thought about it and felt that it was right. Chen Nuo himself said in the live broadcast that he is a lone wolf and has no companions. The girl's excited reaction is mostly to mindlessly lick Chen Nuo like those girls who called him daddy. Thinking of this, Zhao Yang stood up and clapped his hands. Okay, everyone is full, let's get moving, make tools and go to the beach to collect supplies and food. No one dared to go against Zhao Yang's wishes and took action. Zhao Yang glanced at Li Xiaoyu for some unknown reason. This girl has a hot body. Just as an evil thought was about to arise, his companion suddenly said in surprise, Brother Yang, look, it seems that we can see the sea in the live broadcast. Zhao Yang just started watching the live broadcast again when Chen Nuo happened to go off the air. Are you sure? Sure. I really saw the sea just now. Yeah, I think I saw it too. This means that Chen Nuo's shelter is not far from the seaside. As long as we explore along the seashore, we will find him sooner or later. Zhao Yang snorted coldly, we have to get him, but the most urgent thing is to make us bigger and stronger, otherwise with our limited strength, we won't even be able to break through the defense of his shelter. Brother Yang is wise. Let's go develop now. With these new slaves, it's only a matter of time before we become stronger. The three of them thought excitedly. By winning over these newcomers, the three of them became more and more convinced of Zhao Yang. When they followed Brother Wei before, they were not so free and easy. At least Zhao Yang made them middle-level members of the gang within one day. They only had to look at Zhao Yang's face, while the other newbies had to obey them. It feels so damn good to be an official. In fact, what Zhao Yang did was just releasing the beast in their human nature, satisfying their dark desires and giving them crazy motivation. Once the beast of the dark side of human nature is unleashed, it is difficult to contain it. What's more, this is a deserted island without legal and moral constraints. And now, Chen Nuo has become the driving force that drives out the beast within them. Strengthen yourself. Use any means necessary to strengthen yourself. Then he robbed Chen Nuo and became the overlord and richest man of the deserted island. With this clear goal in mind, the three of them worked even harder. But this motivation disappeared after half an hour. Because Chen Nuo started live streaming again. During the live broadcast, Chen Nuo was showing off his wealth again. But this time, Chen Wuxuan's wealth is in architecture. The 2 level 4 ancillary buildings made Zhao Yang and his group feel desperate. Wow! How come he has an arrow tower? Does the sentry post really cover such a large area? How can we launch a surprise attack then? Where on earth did this guy get so many supplies? Even Zhao Yang, who was always calm and composed, couldn't help but twitch his eyes. Because even he didn't know how the arrow towers and sentry posts were built. The shelter of Brother Wei that Zhao Yang occupied was only level 4. But Chen Nuo has already upgraded the additional building to level 4. How can we attack this? Even sneak attacks don't work. Chen Nuo's live broadcast room. There are more than 3,000 online fans. Most of these shelters are only level 2. Own a level 5 shelter and unlock the auxiliary buildings. The number of survivors should not exceed 100. These advanced survivors usually don't reveal this. The reason is simple, the advanced survivors want to fish for law enforcement. They are eager to be invaded by others. Once there is an intruder, the sentry will immediately sound the alarm and the arrow tower will automatically attack. In this way, they can defend themselves with peace of mind and obtain the spoils. But Chen Nuo not only did not do so, he also explained in detail the properties of each level of the building and the construction and upgrading materials during the live broadcast. Is it showing off wealth? No. This is kindness. Others can think of pretending to be deaf and dumb and stinging to enforce the law, but can't Chen Nuo think of it? Chen Nuo simply disdained to obtain supplies in this way. Passive crime and inducement to commit crime are both crimes. Certainly. Chen Nuo's original intention in exposing these things was not to save ordinary people or to expose the high-level survivors. He wanted to further demonstrate his strength so that those who had bad intentions towards him would completely give up the idea. After all, he was never a great man. He just wants to survive, to live with peace of mind and cleanliness. The live broadcast is still in the first-person perspective. My friends, the level 5 shelter unlocks ancillary buildings and walls, but I don't need the walls for now, so I built and upgraded the sentry post and arrow tower first. The upgrade materials are mainly wood and rattan, so friends must reserve these two materials. These are the detailed materials and building properties required for levels 1 to 4 of the two buildings. I shared them in the live broadcast room. I recommend taking screenshots and saving them. The upgrade limit of the ancillary buildings is the current level of the shelter. For example, if I am currently in a level 5 shelter, then the arrow tower and outpost can only be upgraded to level 5. As you can see, the amount of materials consumed for upgrading is also very large. Now I will go to collect these materials and share my personal experience of collecting with you. Thanks guys, double-click 666 to go. Although the number of people watching this live broadcast was not as large as in the morning, but the number of likes and barrages is nearly 3 times higher. Because what Chen Nuo shared were all practical survival strategies. Many survivors even managed to save their lives. Gifts, of course, are indispensable. Thank you, Brother Nuo. Thank you so much. It turns out that wood and rattan can be useful later on. I almost sold them at a low price. I was wondering why the survival rankings change so much every day. It turns out that many big guys are deliberately setting traps. Hey, we can't blame those big guys. If others had behaved themselves, their arrow towers wouldn't have been activated. Humph, do you dare to say that those big guys didn't do it on purpose? The person above is a nitpicker. Do they have the obligation to share strategies with you? Not everyone is Big Boss Chen Nuo. After comparing the two, I realized that Brother Nuo is such a good person. I don't know how many lives he saved through this live broadcast. Don't just thank me with words. Start giving out gifts. Right. Brother Nuo is not obliged to tell everyone for free. If you know better, don't get the guide for free. Be humble and learn. Received a fan gift, stone 20. Received fan gift, rattan 100. Received a fan gift, wood 50. Trigger 10 times reward. Get wood 500. Looking at the massive amount of rewards in the live broadcast room, Chen Nuo felt very gratified. Sure enough, good deeds will be rewarded. At the same time, Chen Nuo was exercising his arm strength while cutting trees and collecting wood. Double the rewards of gift collection. Exercise and collect at the same time. In less than half an hour, Chen Nuo had collected all the materials, including the budget for the wall. Thank you for your strong support. I'll go upgrade the buildings and build the walls as well. Later, let everyone see the effect of a fully loaded level 5 building. Chapter 22. Their hunting time is about to begin. After collecting enough materials, Chen Nuo returned to the rooftop. Looking at this scene, he couldn't help but said arrogantly, "Now is the moment to witness a miracle. Choose a sentry post and upgrade it. Choose an arrow tower and upgrade it." The two buildings were covered in white light almost at the same time. After the white light completely disappeared, the sentry post and arrow tower were obviously taller than before, and looked stronger and more sophisticated. Sentry. Level, 5. Grade, white. Defense, 100. Durability, 500. Range, 5000 m. Introduction, it can accurately locate every enemy unit and transmit it to you in real time in the form of radar. Consumption, light energy. Upgrade conditions, wood 1000, stone 2000, rattan 500. Arrow tower. Level, 5. Grade, white. Attack, 100. Attack speed, 5 arrows per second. Defense, 100. Durability, 500. Range, 5000 m. Introduction, it has a faster rate of fire and stronger penetration, but also becomes more material consuming. Consumption, light energy, wood. Upgrade conditions, wood 1000, stone 2000, rattan 500. Chen Nuo shared the property maps of the two buildings in the live broadcast room. Fans were shocked by its functions as if they had been injected with chicken blood. The coverage area actually reaches a radius of 5,000 meters. Doesn't that mean that the enemy was shot into a hornet's nest by 5 arrows in 1 second before they even got close? I strongly suggest that you build the wall outside the range of the arrow tower. Otherwise, you will be shot to death before you even see the wall. That would be too unfair. Hiss. Why do I feel that in the end, our own kind are more dangerous than the beasts? Everyone should remember the names of the big guys on the list, especially the big guys on the manufacturing list and the survival list. Don't provoke them rashly. Brothers, upgrade the shelter as soon as possible. Level 5 and above are too abnormal. Brother Nuo, I'm sorry, I can't give you any more rewards. I have to save the materials for upgrading the buildings. Hey! I've calculated that the materials on the list would take an average person a month to collect without sleep. I'm really curious about how the big guys got so many materials. Looking at the comments, Chen Nuo smiled calmly. It doesn't matter, just give me rewards as you like. In fact, I prefer food. If you are interested, you may trade your extra food and green materials to me. I guarantee you will be satisfied with the price. Must. Thank you, Brother Nuo, for your understanding. Brother Nuo, I will sell you green material as soon as I have it. I may not need it anyway. Brother Nuo, please start a live broadcast when it is convenient. Even if it is a daily live broadcast, we can learn a lot of valuable experience. Yes, Nuo, please. Chen Nuo agreed readily. Daily live broadcast, no problem at all. With his current construction skills, he can broadcast live near the shelter without worrying about safety. You can also receive rewards during the live broadcast, so why not? Everyone, don't rush to exit the live broadcast room. I will give you some benefits later. Welfare? All the fans' eyes lit up. Boss Chen Nuo's benefits should be extraordinary, right? Then, Chen Nuo began to build the wall. It is worth mentioning that the materials needed to build a wall are not fixed, but are calculated by length. The longer the total length of the fence, the more material is required. When Chen Nuo chose to build, the shadow of a circular wooden wall appeared in front of him. The shadow of the wall spread out as Chen Nuo's sight moved further away, and the amount of wood and vines consumed also increased. In the end, Chen Nuo's material was just enough to extend about 5,000 meters. It is exactly the farthest range of the sentry post and arrow tower. His action stunned all his fans. It's not showing off wealth, but it's better than showing off wealth. How much wood and rattan would be needed for a fence with a diameter of 10,000 meters? It has even covered the ocean area. Put up. Chen Nuo suppressed his grief and decided to build it. According to his budget, this batch of materials was intended to upgrade the wall to level 5. Unexpectedly, building a level 1 wall was barely enough. In fact, he could have narrowed the scope. But the fans are right. If the wall is within the range of the arrow tower, it is easy to accidentally injure innocent survivors passing by. If it is expanded beyond the range of the arrow tower, accidental injuries will basically not occur. If any survivor sees the wall and insists on breaking it down, he deserves to die. After all, every survivor's supplies are obtained at the risk of their lives. Wantonly destroying other people's property is tantamount to trampling on other people's lives. After construction, the wall was formed. Although it looks like just wooden boards tied together by rattan, and feels very low quality, this is the only effect that a level 1 building can achieve. The main purpose is to prevent accidental injury to players. Wall. Level 1. Grade, white. Defense, 10. Durability, 100-100. Range, 5000 m. Introduction. Never underestimate the usefulness of the wall. Its defense and durability attributes have extremely high growth potential. Upgrade conditions, wood 2 m, rattan 1 m. The upgrade conditions for the wall are slightly different from those for other buildings. It can be partially upgraded, calculated on a per meter basis. You can upgrade the key defensive areas first. There is no need to waste materials in other relatively safe locations. This is very practical for Chen Nuo. The area west of his shelter, facing the sea, has been fully explored, and no threatening beasts or survivors have been found so far. Moreover, part of the wall extends into the sea, so there is no need to upgrade it. Well, Chen Nuo promised to show the fans a fully capped level 5 building, but now the wall is only level 1. He broke his promise. But it doesn't matter, the wall is too far away and fans can't see it. To be more precise, it is a wooden fence. Ahem. Chen Nuo cleared his throat twice to hide his embarrassment, then said, "My friends, if you are short of food, please press 1 on the public channel. I will count the number of people and distribute some benefits to you. But first, I have to make it clear that you need to exchange it with a piece of wood." The comments section immediately scrolled with 111,111. Almost everyone is short of food. You have to know that the conditions for most survivors are very difficult. Food and water are consumables. Every day, you have to work hard to collect materials and go on dangerous hunts. Without high-end equipment and good luck, how can you possibly survive? Exchanging a piece of wood for a meal, it's such a good deal, everyone is willing to do it. Get fun gift, wood 1. Get fun gift, wood 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Get fun gift, wood 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Gifts of wood are flying everywhere. There were rattans mixed in it. I guess some survivors had no more wood, so they used rattans instead. Just half a minute. There are 18,000 more wood and 3,000 more rattan in Chen Nuo's warehouse. As expected, there is strength in numbers. The speed of crowdfunding is more than 100 times faster than Chen Nuo's own collection. Of course, the Tenfold reward played an important role. Currently, the number of fans in the live broadcast room has reached nearly 4,000. On average, the probability of triggering a Tenfold reward is as high as 50%, which is a terrifying probability. These materials are enough for Chen Nuo to use the arrow tower. My friends, please wait a moment. Chen Nuo sat cross-legged on the balcony, looking up at the arrow tower and the sentry post. Start, automatically, close, upgrade, synthesis, dismantling. He chooses to activate both. At the top of the arrow tower that was more than 10 meters high, the huge crossbow arrow was slightly raised, emitting light, and entered a state of readiness. The radar-like object on top of the sentry post also began to rotate slowly. The coordinates of all ground creatures within the sentry post range appeared on the radar map in front of Chen Nuo. Chen Nuo's eyes shone, and he slowly said, "Their hunting time is about to begin." Chapter 23, The Power of the Arrow Tower. After the arrow tower is started, it is divided into manual mode and automatic mode. Chen Nuo hasn't set the automatic mode yet, so he uses manual mode. Within the attack range of the arrow tower, you can hit whatever you point at. The level 5 sentry post covered the entire territory within his walled area, and except for underground creatures, all traces of creatures could be clearly seen. Then he locked onto these targets. With a thought, the arrow tower started shooting. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Arrows quickly took shape and shot out in all directions. 5 arrows per second, extremely fast. Dense tracks of arrow rain formed in the sky. The scene is spectacular. And Chen Nuo, sitting at home, hunting thousands of meters away. Reminders kept ringing in my ears. Kill the mutant rat and get 1 stamina fruit. Kill the mutant giant squirrel and get survival coins 20. Trigger 10 times reward. Get survival coins 200. Kill the mutant sloth and obtain excellent for 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Kill the mutant vampire bats. Kill the mutant giant lizard. This monster killing speed can be called 999 per hit. To be precise, 1 arrow kills 1 small animal. 5 arrows in 1 second, 5 in 1 second, so terrifying. Live broadcast room. Fans shouted, "Wow." I was so shocked that I could only say fuck. The rain of arrows lasted for 3 minutes. These 3 minutes were like a nightmare for the animals within Chen Nuo's territory. They saw dense arrows flying from the sky, easily taking the lives of their companions. Each arrow has extremely strong lethality and is sharper than the fangs of its natural enemies. 1 arrow, 1 life. Thousands of arrows, tens of thousands of lives. The arrows from the level 5 arrow tower have extremely strong penetrating power, and can often kill 2 beasts at the same time with 1 arrow. Congratulations, you have completed the hunting mission and received a multifunctional hunting knife 1. Congratulations, you have completed the basic task, please receive the reward. Congratulations, you have completed the basic task, please receive the reward. Congratulations. At the same time, Chen Nuo's hunting week mission and 6 basic missions were all completed in this indiscriminate massacre. This is a pleasant surprise. The huge amount of supplies brought by hunting tens of thousands of mutant beasts made Chen Nuo sit firmly on the throne of the richest man on the deserted island, and his position is unshakable. With his current overall financial resources, I'm afraid that all the survivors combined are no match for him alone. 10 times the reward talent, it's so powerful. Kill one and feel great. Kill tens of thousands of them, it feels so good. However, Chen Nuo was not too surprised. Because this is to be expected. With his current strength, if he can't do these things, it would be a waste of advanced technology. Yes. On this deserted island, what truly makes Chen Nuo ahead of everyone else is technology. Others are still fighting desperately with wild beasts just to get a bite of meat. Others are still using sharp tools to polish stone pots in order to cook pot dishes. Others are still crowded in primitive thatched wooden houses, worrying about wind and rain. But he is tired of eating meat, and owns an iron pot and seasonings, a luxurious sea view villa, and fully automatic and highly lethal advanced weapons. With advanced weapons, why worry about supplies? Therefore, Chen Nuo was mentally prepared for the benefits brought by the Arrow Tower, so he dared to make a bold statement and send a wave of benefits to the fans in the live broadcast room. Obviously, this wave of welfare is food. Strictly speaking, it is not free. Fans bought it from Chen Nuo using a piece of wood. Although this is equivalent to giving it away for free, the meaning is different. The rules of doing business cannot be broken, otherwise there will be trouble in the future. My friends, from now on, no more gifts are allowed. I'll transfer them to you one by one according to the fan rankings of this live broadcast. In order for everyone to get the food as quickly as possible, please cooperate. Having said that, Chen Nuo turned off the reward function. Get up and go, pick up the loot. It is worth mentioning that when Chen Nuo controlled the Arrow Tower to shoot, he shot in a circle at the maximum range of 5,000 meters. There are 3 benefits to doing this. 1. It is convenient to pick up prey. Second, attacks without species distinction will not affect the ecological balance of the territory. For example, if he killed only snakes, it would easily lead to a rat plague, and he, the Lord, would be the one who suffered in the end. Never underestimate the issue of ecological balance. You must know that this deserted island is full of mutated creatures. Once a species in a certain area is completely extinct and the food chain is broken, it will cause a very terrible disaster for the mutated creatures. 3. On the way. Chen Nuo had to explore the outer circle of the territory anyway, so he might as well take this opportunity to pick up prey and complete the exploration work. Chen Nuo just set off. Suddenly I heard a system prompt. The territory is initially established, triggering the exploration mission. Please reach 100% territory exploration within 3 days. Reward, Lord Title 1. Lord Title. It should be some additional attribute. He didn't take it seriously. Anyway, even if there is no mission, he will still familiarize himself with his territory as soon as possible. At the same time, kill all the powerful mutant beasts that have been detected. Humph. There is no room for 2 tigers in one mountain. How can I allow them to bully others in my territory? Thinking of this, Chen Nuo went to the lakeside, washed his face, and walked towards the water source. Arrow Tower, ready at all times. The sentry post never stops running. With these 2 buildings, Chen Nuo is invincible within the territory. On the way, he used radar to deliberately avoid wild beasts. If you really happen to encounter it, just use the sunset bow and 1 arrow to kill it. Of course, in a skirmish like this, the Arrow Tower is definitely not as effective as the sunset bow. After all, the Arrow Tower does not have the function of locking onto prey, and once the arrow is shot, it will not turn. In comparison, the sunset bow is more suitable for real-time individual combat, while the role of the Arrow Tower is more inclined to defend against foreign invasion. The live broadcast is still on. Fans follow Chen Nuo's perspective and travel through this dangerous tropical rainforest. Anyone with a little experience in the wild knows that dangers lurk everywhere in the tropical rainforest. Chen Nuo moved as fast as the wind, showing no fear of danger at all, which made people both envious and worried for him. Boss, safety comes first, we are not in a hurry. Yes, brother Nuo, please slow down. What if you encounter a wild beast? Fuck. You're the one upstairs who's a jinx. What a bunch of big gorillas. Brother Nuo, run. They found you. The fans were sweating profusely. But the mutant gorilla clearly locked onto Chen Nuo, so why didn't it attack immediately, but instead showed a human-like expression of confusion. There was even a female gorilla that clearly had a crush on Chen Nuo and walked towards him gently. Oh yes, this should be the effect of the charm attribute. Those of you who have done the weekly popularity list quest should know that the charm attribute of the popularity badge can increase the affinity of wild beasts. Just like now, I guess these gorillas are also wondering why they are not very hostile to me, but feel close to me. In fact, this is all because I am wearing the Popularity King badge. Chen Nuo sighed, but I'm sorry, I can only treat them as enemies. Because charm is not omnipotent, their good impression of me is only temporary. Once we meet, as soon as I walk away, they will quickly return to their nature and hunt me down. So, the law of the jungle is to strike first and be the strongest. Chen Nuo's eyes flashed and he pulled the bowstring. A wind arrow visible to the naked eye took shape at a very fast speed and shot towards the center of the gorilla group with a whoosh. Storm of arrows. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Before the gorillas could react, they were shot to death by the sudden tornado and rain of arrows. Live broadcast room. Are this skills? It's definitely skills. Using wind as arrows is already unscientific enough, but can you also summon tornadoes and rain of arrows? Is blue-grade equipment so awesome? Brother Nuo, I have a humble question for you. Are you really not considering taking in a younger brother? Chapter 24, Getting Something for Nothing. Regarding the issue of recruiting subordinates and employees, Chen Nuo was too lazy to emphasize it anymore. Just laugh it off. The meaning is self-evident, don't consider it. Isn't it nice to be a lone wolf? As for the problem of loneliness, it is not a problem at all for Chen Nuo. He is a homebody. In the wilderness, many things become troublesome once you have companions around you. Soon, Chen Nuo saw the wall he had built. A row of sharp wooden boards tied together with rattan extended to both sides. Their height is about 1.5 meters. After all, it's just a level 1 wooden fence, it's a bit simple and of poor quality. But with continuous upgrading, the wooden fence will eventually become a truly majestic city wall. Even the introduction says that the defensive attributes of the wall have extremely high growth potential. In the later stages of upgrading, the wall will become the strongest barrier of the territory. It's okay, at least it's better than the fence. Chen Nuo smiled with satisfaction. Then go left along the wall. After taking a few steps, I saw the corpses of several wild animals. He picked it up and didn't even bother collecting it. He directly distributed it to the top few fans on the fan list through the live broadcast room function. Thank you, Brother Nuo. Thank you, boss. I finally have meat to eat tonight. Meat, eat meat. One fan was thrilled. He was on the deserted island for 5 days and lost more than 10 pounds. He didn't eat a single bite of meat and survived by eating a kind of wild plants. Finally, I have meat to eat today. The fan was so excited that tears welled up in his eyes, as if he had found his long-lost father. Brother Nuo, don't you want to collect some? Nonsense. Do you think Brother Nuo is short of materials? That's right. Brother Nuo probably thinks it's a waste of time to collect these common mutant beasts. Boss, can I not have that sloth? I heard that sloth meat is of very poor quality, fishy and smelly. What do you think above? You don't even think about the environment. Just having a bite of meat to eat is good enough. You're still being picky. Unexpectedly, instead of complaining about the fan, Chen Nuo agreed to the other party's request. Sure. No need to thank me, you bought this from me with the wood you paid for. Since this is a transaction, you have the right to choose your prey. Chen Nuo smiled and said, but the total number of prey is only about 10,000. If everyone is picky, it will be unfair to those behind. How about this? Those who made the request will line up again. If you still don't see the prey you like by then, I will have to refund your money. Chen Nuo sincerely thought so. This was no trouble to him. Moreover, the weight and meat quality of some wild animals vary, so it is impossible to achieve absolute fairness. He just wanted to be as fair as possible. But his words were misinterpreted by fans. Fans interpreted his meaning as picky. You don't know what's good for you, right? Then go to the back of the queue. Don't blame me if you don't get any food in the end. Therefore, no fan dared to be picky anymore, for fear of angering Chen Nuo and not even being able to drink a sip of broth. With the full cooperation of fans, Chen Nuo's work of distributing food went smoothly. What? Waste of time. Then you are wrong. From the very beginning, Chen Nuo didn't just want to help others. Even if he doesn't give benefits to his fans, he will still use the Arrow Tower to launch a round of indiscriminate attacks in the walled area. The purpose is simple: to declare the Lord's authority. Tell the wild beasts inside and outside the wall that the area around the wall is dangerous and the price of approaching rashly is losing their lives. Let the wild beasts know the dangers of the wall and teach them the meaning of the wall subtly. It also means that a new official will make 3 big moves upon taking office. Tell them his coming. He possesses absolute military power and rules this territory. This is also the reason why he killed the beasts he encountered. Not hunting for food, but slaughter for the sake of authority. This is the most primitive and direct way of education. Although it is a bit cruel, it is very efficient. Therefore, the Arrow Tower must be activated. Large-scale massacre is inevitable. Since he has no use for these beast corpses, he might as well give them to other people in need. You can also earn some goodwill and let your fans give you more rewards in the future. The most important thing is that when you give it to others, it always triggers some discussions about wild animals. For example, the quality of the meat of a certain wild animal, its habits, its attack and defense situations, and a host of other information. And Chen Nuo silently memoized this information. Don't underestimate the value of this information. For Chen Nuo, who has a severe lack of knowledge about wild animals, these are invaluable life-saving knowledge. So, do you still think Chen Nuo is wasting his time and being a bad person? Far from being stupid, he is very smart. Through this live broadcast, I not only gained good popularity, but also a lot of materials. It also made the powerful boss's character more realistic, thus avoiding many unnecessary wars of the same kind. Even the wood consumption for the Arrow Tower was paid for by others. And his so-called welfare is nothing more than enriching his knowledge of survival in the wild during the exploration. He's really good at getting something for nothing. 10 minutes later. Beach. Zhao Yang's gang's business is very bad. Brother Yang. These new guys are so stupid, they can't even catch crabs. Nonsense. If you have any survival skills, would you be deceived by us? I just want to kill that bastard Chen Nuo. He was delivering food in the live broadcast room, making the regional channel deserted. It's been a whole morning and not a single fish has been hooked. Zhao Yang's face turned pale. I always feel like my younger brother is scolding him. Their business was very bad in the morning. Neither caught any seafood nor tricked any newbies. If nothing unexpected happens, they will all go hungry at noon. If Zhao Yang was a little smarter and took his team of 11 people to Chen Nuo's live broadcast room, they could at least exchange for 11 foods, enough for them to eat sparingly for half a month. But Zhao Yang didn't do that, but followed the old way. Now, we are all basking in the sun on the beach, thirsty and hungry, and we haven't got lunch yet. Our morale is gradually collapsing. When Zhao Yang regretted, it was too late. Chen Nuo had already turned off the reward function. They can only watch others get all kinds of raw meat and feel extremely jealous. Zhao Yang's face was gloomy, and he said bitterly, "Humph. I'm making this clear, everything Chen Nuo has will belong to me from now on. Yes. He will be robbed sooner or later." Huh. Look, that seems to be the wall. It's the wall. The 4 of them passed through a corner of the shallow forest and their view became wider. 100 meters away on the beach, there are 2 rows of wooden fences extending into the ocean. Brother Yang, what do you say? Fuck, this is definitely God's will. Rob. We must do something. The 3 little brothers looked ferocious. They had just been provoked by Chen Nuo, and now they happened to discover the territory of a big boss, so they naturally had evil thoughts. Humph, that's what it's like, someone sends you a pillow just when you feel sleepy. A sinister smile appeared on Zhao Yang's lips. Second brother, go find a new guy to test the mines. The second child understood immediately, okay. The third and fourth children's eyes were full of brilliance, as if they had imagined themselves lying in a solid stone house and eating barbecue. Chapter 25 Bloodstained Beach. The so-called mine detection refers to entering the enemy's territory to survey the situation. There is an area on the beach that is not fenced, but the depth of the sea there is at least more than 3 meters. The second brother came to the 7 newcomers and asked, "Who can swim?" Everyone shook their heads. Li Xiaoyu was a little slow to react, so the second brother stared at her. "Ugly freak, follow me. There's a mission." I'm not good at swimming. Stop talking nonsense. Follow me. The second brother didn't have a good face towards Li Xiaoyu. Not only is this girl ugly, she is also very slow at work. It's obvious that she has been spoiled. The second brother had a serious hatred of the rich since he was young, so he didn't know how to be gentle with women at all. He grabbed Li Xiaoyu's arm and walked back. I really can't swim, what do you want me to do? Look. There. The second brother pulled her to the edge of the shallow forest and pointed at the wooden fence 100 meters away. I don't care what method you use, you must get in without touching the fence, understand? Li Xiaoyu's heart skipped a beat with fright. She had just watched Chen Nuo's live broadcast and knew that the wall was a structure that could only be built in a level 5 shelter. Anyone who has the ability to build a wall must have built arrow towers and sentry posts first. What if she sneaks in and is discovered by the sentry? What if she is shot by the arrow tower? No, I want to go. I don't want to die. Par. A slap hit her hard on the face. I'm not negotiating with you, understand? The second brother looked at the sobbing Li Xiaoyu and threatened coldly, Girl. You should be glad that you are ugly. But at least you are a woman, otherwise, with your ability, we would have killed you long ago, do you understand? Li Xiaoyu understood what the second brother meant. Mentioning gender was obviously an attempt to intimidate her and use her as a tool for sexual gratification. I'll count to 3. If you don't take action, I'll show you how I'm going to deal with you tonight. 1. 2. Without waiting for the second brother to count to 3, Li Xiaoyu ran for his life. Humph, you're quite sensible. The second brother walked up to Zhao Yang and the other two. Brother Yang, it's done. Let this girl help us detect mines. Zhao Yang was dissatisfied. I secretly cursed the second brother for being an idiot. In his opinion, after some time, women can also become an important resource on the desert island. And the idiot number 2 actually chose a potential stock to be a cannon fodder for mine detection. But Zhao Yang did not show his dissatisfaction. Well, let's wait and see the result. If she is not attacked when she goes in, then we can sneak in secretly. Brother Yang is wise. Yes, as long as we have enough patience, we will definitely be able to ambush the enemy. Once the enemy is dead, everything in the territory will be ours. Second brother, you are quite good at choosing people. This girl seems to be quite good at swimming. Wrong. Zhao Yang frowned and said in shock, she seems to be drowning. The second child was stunned. Damn, did I scare her too badly just now, and she wants to commit suicide. Did you scare her? Zhao Yang's eyes turned cold. The second brother lowered his head and didn't dare to speak, but he was very unhappy in his heart. What's wrong with scaring her? It's none of your business. It seemed that Li Xiaoyu had indeed chosen to commit suicide by diving into the sea, and had not emerged from the sea for a long time. But they would never have imagined that Li Xiaoyu not only could swim, but also won the city-level swimming championship in colleges and universities. Brother Yang, she's breathing. This girl is pretty good at swimming. Shit, she's trying to escape. Li Xiaoyu surfaced to take a breath, then dived back into the water and soon appeared on the beach on the other side of the two fences. Now, not only are the two sides nearly 500 meters apart, but there are also 2 long rows of fences between them. Damn it! How dare you play tricks on me? The second brother cursed angrily, pulled out the stone axe from his waist and chased after him. Return. But Brother Yang, do you want to die? Zhao Yang said coldly, chase, how do you chase? Break down the fence and become cannon fodder for mine detection. Hold. The second one's face is all red. Half of him was angry with Li Xiaoyu, and half of him was unhappy with Zhao Yang's tone. Stop talking. I'll go find some new people. The second brother brought 3 new people over. This time the second brother learned his lesson and did not threaten them, but instead gave them promises. He said that as long as they worked together and sneaked in quietly, they would have delicious food and fish for every meal. He also patiently persuaded the 3 people that the guy who could build the wall into the sea must be a lucky fool. The 3 of them thought about it and agreed. No normal person would waste materials in the sea. There is also a gap left for the sea route. What is the point of this wall? The enemy can sneak in quietly without touching the fence. Of course, what really encouraged the 3 men was not the pie in the sky drawn by the second brother, but the fish on the beach within the wall. They had only eaten half full last night since arriving on the deserted island, and had worked for half a day straight today, so they were already starving. In their current state, their satiety and spirit levels are very low. If they don't replenish their food, they will die in 2 days at most. The digitization of life values makes them panic all the time. At this moment, with more than a dozen fresh big fish right in front of you, who can resist the temptation? Let us fight. A newcomer walked into the sea, swam in through the gap in the surface, and picked up the fish on the beach. Zhao Yang and others were overjoyed. The bet turned out to be right. The beach is not within the attack range of the arrow tower and is safe. Thank you for your hard work, brother. Throw the fish over here first. The second brother shouted with a smile on his face. The newcomer raised his head and glanced at the second brother without saying anything, then threw all the dozen fish to Li Xiaoyu's side. He then turned around, gave Lauer a middle finger, and cursed, "Eat shit." After cursing, he swam into the sea again and joined Li Xiaoyu's escape team. "I fuck you." The second brother's eyes were bloodshot and he was furious. He was fooled again. At this time, a newcomer next to him said indignantly, "Damn, 2 ungrateful wolves. Don't be afraid, second brother, I'll go explore their way." After saying this, the man walked into the sea. The second brother suddenly looked ferocious and chopped the man's back with an axe. The blood dyed the beach red. "Second brother, you. Fuck you. I'll let you escape." The second brother kicked the man into the shallows. The man's wounds came into contact with the sea water and he let out a horrible cry of pain. This will be the fate of anyone who dares to escape again. The second brother raised his axe and chopped it down, ending the man's life completely. Even Zhao Yang was stunned by this scene. The second child, whose IQ was shown twice in a row, completely aroused his brutal side and turned into a vicious and bloodthirsty beast. Zhao Yang didn't care about anything, so the second brother ordered directly, "What are you waiting for? Get everyone over here and rush in to rob." Zhao Yang said cautiously, "Second brother, I think it's better to be cautious. Be careful. I just want to eat meat and have a good sleep now. If you are afraid, you don't have to come. Anyway, I will definitely get this guy today, and no one can stop him, I say." Hearing this, the third and fourth brothers looked ruthless and decided to rob. "Brother Yang, what Lauer said is right. If we can't get enough supplies, more and more people will escape. Let's do it while we're all in this together. As long as this guy isn't a pervert like Chen Nuo, we can kill him with just our ruthlessness." Zhao Yang frowned tightly, "But what if this is Chen Nuo's territory? Have you forgotten that there is a sea in Chen Nuo's live broadcast?" Zhao Yang guessed right. This is Chen Nuo's territory. At this moment, Chen Nuo's live broadcast screen was exactly them and this sea area. In the jungle. Chen Nuo witnessed the entire process of Lauer's crime indifferently. His gaze transmitted the images synchronously to the live broadcast room, and the 4,000 fans were collectively silent, deeply shocked. Sharkman. In broad daylight, someone is killing people by sharking them. This scene seemed to foreshadow something ominous. Or maybe it was just an ordinary scene that happened to be exposed in full view of the public. Chilling. Chapter 26 Hunting Intruders. Chen Nuo remained calm. This was not the first time he had seen Zhao Yang and his gang committing crimes. How can we expect people who can even harm their own companions to be kind to others? However, they dared to mess around near our territory. This is intolerable. Chen Nuo silently activated the arrow tower. Then continued to pick up the spoils and distribute them to fans. As the gaze shifted away, Zhao Yang and others disappeared from the screen. "Brother Nuo, don't you care about this? They are so abominable, teach them a lesson. With great power comes great responsibility, Boss Chen Nuo, if even you stand idly by, this deserted island will be hopeless. Boss, help those people." Chen Nuo ignored the fans' words and continued to deliver food. He has no interest in being a hero. Talk of ability and responsibility is all bullshit. This is a deserted island, no one can blackmail him morally. If Zhao Yang and others were not planning on him, he wouldn't bother to care. But perhaps it was God's will that Zhao Yang and his gang had the bad luck to provoke him. At this time, the second brother established absolute prestige in the team by committing crimes. No one dared to refute him forcefully, not even Zhao Yang. The second brother gathered all the remaining newcomers and swam into Chen Nuo's territory from the sea. Court death. Chen Nuo thought secretly. His heart was filled with murderous intent. The arrow tower has been activated, with its arrow pointing towards the sea. Zhao Yang and others don't know yet that they have been targeted by the god of death. Emission. Chen Nuo muttered to himself. The radar and arrow tower work in perfect harmony, and arrows are shot from thousands of meters away. Whoosh 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 whoosh. The second brother was facing the forest with his back, giving an impassioned speech, telling everyone not to be afraid and to follow him into fight. The next second, the others showed expressions of horror. When the second brother came to his senses, his chest had been pierced by 3 arrows and he died on the spot. It's the arrow tower. Fuck, how can the attack range be so long? Could it be Chen Nuo? This is Chen Nuo's territory. What a fucking bad luck. Run. Run. The others came to their senses and screamed as they fled into the sea. The third and fourth brothers could have escaped, but at the critical moment they were pulled back by Zhao Yang and used as shields. Zhao Yang. Fuck. I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. The two men never imagined before their death that Zhao Yang would be so cruel. But Zhao Yang didn't even look back, he plunged into the sea, dived deeply, and disappeared. Unfortunately, Zhao Yang escaped. Although Chen Nuo didn't look over there, he identified Zhao Yang and the other 3 as the main hunting targets through the radar on the transparent panel. The third one died, leaving Zhao Yang behind. The other newcomers were all shot, but not fatally. The arrow tower stopped attacking. Those newcomers were so busy escaping that they didn't even care about the wall. They just worked together to destroy a wooden fence and fled. After leaving the territory completely, they couldn't help but look back. The area enclosed by the wall looked like a horrible hell in their eyes. After this incident, I believe they will never dare to trespass into other people's territory again. This little incident did not have any impact on Chen Nuo. He deliberately didn't look there. But through the screams coming from the beach, fans in the live broadcast room guessed what had happened. Thousands of people gasped. I just saw that the boss is the boss. He killed people without blinking an eye and acted as if nothing had happened. However, no one would think that Chen Nuo was going too far. Because they had seen the true faces of Zhao Yang and others in advance, those who even killed their companions deserved to be put to death. What's more, they were the ones who took the initiative to invade Chen Nuo. If Chen Nuo didn't deal with them, he would be a fool. Obviously, Chen Nuo is not a fool, and he is decisive in killing. These guys are so unlucky. Why did they choose boss Chen Nuo when there are so many other people to rob? Such people do not deserve sympathy. Yes, before you rob others, you should be prepared to be punished. Thank goodness, boss Chen Nuo is kind-hearted and only kills the invaders within the territory. If it were me, no one would be able to escape. After the massacre, the group of fleeing survivors left the sentry's radar range. Chen Nuo glanced at the seaside. They fled together and no longer had to embarrass the newcomers who were being coerced. His life motto has always been, I will not offend others unless they offend me. If someone offends me, I will kill him. There is still a lot of food. Keep distributing it so that everyone can have a share. Chen Nuo spoke calmly. Still no mention of the intruder. It is precisely this attitude, as if nothing had happened, that makes it even more awe-inspiring. The fans also tactfully changed the subject. Brother Nuo, there are a lot of benefits today. I finished 1 round, are there any more? We feel so embarrassed to take so much food from you for nothing. Boss, I will never forget your life-saving grace. If you need any materials in the future, just let me know. Chen Nuo's heart moved. Yes. If you need any materials in the future, you can purchase them through the live broadcast room. This way he could avoid being ripped off by Louis. It can also sell supplies and supports online bargaining. At the beginning, Chen Nuo was relatively poor and was afraid that he would not be able to ask for a high price if he became too familiar with others. But he is very rich now and doesn't care about ordinary materials at all. It is better to use them to do favors and pave their way for collecting high-end materials. Simply put, Chen Nuo is no longer the same as he was before. He has already opened up a gap with 99.99% of the survivors, with different pursuits and fewer conflicts. Thank you all, my friends, in advance. I'm still short of a few materials for now. If you have any, I'll take them all, and I guarantee you'll be satisfied with the price. It doesn't matter if you don't have it. You can help me keep an eye out for where these materials are. If you can provide reliable clues, I will reward you handsomely. After saying that, Chen Nuo typed out a list of materials on the bulletin board in the live broadcast room. These materials are all they need right now, including the upgrade materials for the sunset bow and the green materials needed to upgrade the shelter. Fans were stunned when they saw the list. They were all green materials, many of which they had never even heard of, let alone owned. But Chen Nuo was not in a hurry. During the subsequent food distribution process, he described the characteristics of ironwood and spirit stone and asked fans to help pay attention to them. There is strength in numbers. There are only about 5,000 survivors on the deserted island, and there are about 4,000 of them in his live broadcast room. It covers almost all information networks. Whether it's collecting intelligence or gathering supplies, he is always one step ahead. Brother Nuo, I know where there is ironwood, but the collection efficiency is very low. If you need it, I will send you the coordinates tomorrow. So that thing is called Jingsha. I was wondering why it was so hard. I kept getting reminded that the tools I used were not suitable for collecting it. The blueprint seems to be only available from a treasure chest. Until now, Chen Nuo's live broadcast room has become more and more like a survival experience discussion group. At first, everyone kept the important information to themselves, but because of Chen Nuo, they shared it generously, and it became a form of mutual help. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room is harmonious. But some people are not happy anymore. For example, Louis, who survives by trading supplies. For example, other popular anchors. The rise of Chen Nuo's live broadcast room has seriously affected their interests. In the wilderness world, profit is, to some extent, equal to the hope of survival. On the regional channel, there were many voices cursing Chen Nuo. Chen Nuo, you are a selfish dog. You only care about your own survival and don't care about the lives of others. Everyone, please don't reveal any information to Chen Nuo, or he might snatch it away. This guy kills people without blinking an eye. He is definitely not a good person. Voices like these were quickly reported to Chen Nuo by fans. Chen Nuo simply ignored it. Not only did he ignore it himself, he also told his fans not to start a war. No need to fight with them. If you have that time, you might as well go collect some supplies. Chapter 27 The First Lord of the Deserted Island. Time, 2 hours have passed. After distributing the food, Chen Nuo silently memoized the coordinates of several materials provided by fans. There is no rush for materials for now. Do the safety tasks first. Thinking about this, Chen Nuo closed the live broadcast and went home to cook. The reason why I don't live broadcast my cooking is to take everyone's mood into consideration. You know, the fans have just received the food and they must be eager to cook delicious food to fill their stomachs. At this time, if others see that he has sophisticated kitchen utensils and complete seasonings, they will find it a bit unappetizing to eat. So it's better not to cause trouble to others. At noon, Chen Nuo's lunch was still pig's trotters and vegetables. The pig's trotters were from last night, and they will taste better if heated up. There were plenty of fresh wild vegetables, enough for him to waste lavishly. They would go bad if left for too long anyway. The combination of meat and vegetables makes the taste more delicious. The taste is no less than that of the cooking in star hotels. After eating and drinking, Chen Nuo took a nap as usual to replenish his physical and mental strength. After waking up, he did not rush to explore, but instead collected and practiced at the same time. Life in the wilderness will only get busier and busier. For example, now that he has no worries about food and drink, he is wholeheartedly thinking about building a new home. Moreover, a blacksmith must be strong himself. In order to improve survival as much as possible, it is essential to exercise physical fitness and combat skills. Fortunately, he has enough conditions to do this. Under the real-time monitoring of the sentry post, Chen Nuo practiced martial arts around the lake with confidence and boldness. Once a wild beast approaches the lake, the arrow tower will automatically attack. Especially at dusk, the arrow tower hunted many wild beasts that tried to approach the lake to drink water. Without exception, these wild beasts were treated as food by Chen Nuo. Either it becomes reserve meat, or it is sold to fans at a low price. Night. Chen Nuo recycled all the wood collected in the afternoon into survival coins. Recycling price 1:1. Harvest survival coins 50 for 23. Then I bought a plastic bucket, a ladle and soap in the supply mall. Then I went to the stream and brought back a full bucket of water, and had a refreshing shower. Take a bath and feel indescribably refreshed. However, the embarrassing thing was that Li Shi sent a message on time, saying that the design drawings were ready, but he had no wood and had to buy it on credit. Li Shi said it was okay, but Chen Nuo was the one who felt extremely embarrassed. I just took a shower and was lying comfortably in bed. I couldn't go out to work overtime just for a little bit of wood. As interest on the credit, Chen Nuo gave Li Shi a lot of food on the spot, allowing Li Shi to experience the happiness of being in debt for the first time in his life. Tonight, Chen Nuo slept particularly soundly. This is all thanks to the Arrow Tower and the sentry post. He made settings and adjustments for the two buildings in advance in their function settings. The detection and attack range is limited to two circular areas, the outer and inner areas of the territory. In other words, the alarm will be triggered and automatic shooting will occur only when an intruder approaches the edge of the territory or a wild beast approaches the vicinity of his shelter. Of course, the territory was just built today, so naturally many wild beasts accidentally intruded upon it. However, they were all quickly resolved by the Arrow Tower and Chen Nuo was not disturbed at all. The next day, Chen Nuo collected materials for practicing martial arts as soon as possible and compensated Li Shi with sufficient wood. Then continue building your home. Gather and practice, explore the territory, exchange survival coins, and buy modern supplies. Start live broadcast on time after dinner, share survival experiences, encourage each other, and trade supplies. This is Chen Nuo's day. Day to day. It wasn't until the third day that Chen Nuo finally received a system prompt. Complete the exploration mission and obtain the primary Lord Badge 1. Trigger 10 times reward. Obtain primary Lord Badge 10. Is it synthetic? Chen Nuo decisively chose synthesis. Synthesized. Obtain primary Lord Badge 1. Junior Lord Badge. Grade, green. Increase, 20. Introduction. Wearing it can provide additional enhancement to all building functions in the territory. All buildings increased by 20, great stuff. Chen Nuo immediately took out the Lord's badge and chose to wear it. Now there are two badges on the left chest of his armor. A popular king. A lord. However, with the birth of the Lord's emblem, troubles also followed. Since you have officially become a lord, the beast tide will arrive in 24 hours, please take precautions in advance. Upon hearing the prompt, Chen Nuo's expression froze. What is coming has finally come. In fact, one of the reasons why Chen Nuo chose to stay in the territory these days was to prevent the beast tide. His shelter was upgraded from level 2 to level 5, accumulating 3 waves of beasts. All 3 beasts are in his territory. Mutated capuchin monkey, mutant bird of paradise, mutant anaconda. In terms of attributes, capuchins are the easiest to defend against. But the latter 2 creatures are more difficult to deal with. The mutated birds of paradise have excellent aerial combat capabilities, and their large numbers make them difficult to kill. According to the intelligence gathered by Chen Nuo, many survivors' level 4 shelters were riddled with holes due to being pecked by mutated birds of paradise. Fortunately, Chen Nuo directly upgraded the shelter to level 5. The stone shelter should be able to effectively defend against the pecking of the bird of paradise. Mainly they are flying creatures. Apart from attacking with arrow towers, ordinary survivors can only watch helplessly. Fortunately, Chen Nuo has the sunset bow. As for the anaconda? Chen Nuo was somewhat mysteriously confident. After all, he had even killed a mutant snake king, so how could he be afraid of an anaconda? In general, Chen Nuo is full of confidence in this battle to defend his homeland. And the energy he had gathered and practiced over the past 3 days finally came in handy. Nowadays, within a few hundred meters around the stone house, the vision is wide, and wild beasts have nowhere to hide, so the sunset bow can be fully utilized. At the same time, the system announcement broadcast 3 announcements in succession. Congratulations to Chen Nuo for becoming the first lord of this area. Open the territory list, survivors can view it on the list. After the survivor becomes the lord, the territory will be attacked by a powerful beast tide in 24 hours. The regional channel exploded instantly. Big Boss is the first lord. That's not right. There's obviously a big boss who reached level 5 before him. I understand. The key to becoming a lord is not the level of the shelter, but the wall and the lord mission. It should be like this. Only after building a wall and completing the lord's mission can one be considered a true lord. Although other bosses have built auxiliary buildings, they have not used walls to plan their territories, or their territories are too small to be counted as territory. I understand. It turns out I was too young. A powerful beast wave attack sounds terrifying. Yes. The beast invasions caused by our upgrade of the shelter are usually irregular, but Nuoj gave the exact time of the beast invasion, which is definitely more difficult. Brothers, it's time to repay the favor. At Chen Nuo, Brother Nuo, whether you need people or materials, as long as you ask, I will definitely do my best to help you. At Chen Nuo, big man, please start a live broadcast. Just ask if you need anything. At Chen Nuo, I told you, this life is yours, please send me the coordinates, I'll come. Faced with the enthusiasm of fans, Chen Nuo smiled calmly. He sees everything but doesn't say it out loud. He knows that not all fans have good intentions. Although he says he is repaying a favor, it is possible that he is trying to curry favor with someone powerful. Some even have bad intentions. Just imagine, when a large number of mutant beasts attack Chen Nuo, it will be his most difficult time. There is no guarantee that some guys will not take advantage of the situation to rob him. Of course, Chen Nuo doesn't think that badly of everyone. But you must always be on guard against others. If you can handle something yourself, there is no need to bother others. He told the regional channel. If you really want to help, please help me find some carpenters. No, it's not a trap. I really need furniture at home.